Audio.
Hello. Oh my god.
Oh.
Wait, I think you need to come more this way, Brendan. That's a chair.
I did not like how I just jiggled. Is audio working? It's working. Excellent.
Hello, everybody.
How is everyone doing? Surya, where have you been? Where have you been? It's been like 2.5 years.
It has been 2.5 years. I've been in hibernation. I've been hiding, but I'm back now. I've been waiting for Alpen Fury to open.
Yes, because we were talking about that. Yeah, 2025. And
yeah.
then
it's gonna open. It's gonna open.
Oh my goodness. Do you think we weren't prepared for an opening, and that was a little...
Oh, what's that? Yeah, you're right. I have lost a lot of weight. Thank you for noticing, Brendan. Thank you for noticing.
I've done quite the opposite.
Yeah. Oh, it's okay.
I was the one that went into hibernation. Okay, well, you have been on quite the adventure over the last 5 days.
I have. It's you know what? So it's actually been 9 days.
You were gone that long?
I was gone that long. I spent 6 days at Universal. Oh, I remember looking at your watch. Yeah, I did a last-minute trip to Florida. I've been there before, but you know what? I took Brendan's advice this time, and I went to Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure, and it was probably it was a much needed experience at the time, but overall it was my new favorite park. It was one of the best trips, if not the best trip I ever went on, and everything you've said about Universal was absolutely right.
My manipulation has worked.
Your manipulation worked, and
or gaslighting, whatever it is.
Oh, and I'm absolutely in love with Universal, and VelociCoaster is better than Fury. Okay.
Here yet. Okay, no, but there's so much more I want to unpack here.
Okay, let's do it.
Because you said something on the phone one of the nights, and it stuck with me.
Okay.
This is really petty. What I'm about to do. You said something about theming to me.
I had a feeling this would come up because, okay, if you guys know me, I don't care about theming. I was always like, taller, faster, longer, more intense, like just ride the rides and whatever. But, anytime Brendan would say something about theming, I'd be like, oh, whatever. Theming doesn't matter. I'm sorry.
Looking at you, Caden.
It's true. I would be like, okay, whatever, theming. It doesn't matter. Theming doesn't make a ride. The minute I step into Universal, the immersion is like, I wasn't expecting that. You actually feel like you're in the movie. Like, Transformers. That's where it really hit me. Like, you go into the warehouse and you see like the queues and stuff. Escape from Gringotts, that one, the most beautiful queue line I've ever seen. The 1-to-1 scale of the bank and stuff, and that's just the queue line, guys. These queue lines were better than some of Wonderland's rides. Like, I would purposely want to wait longer in the queue so I could see everything. And even when you're on the ride, the details, the effects, just every small thing. And if I'm being honest, even a ride like the Mummy without anything, if it was just bare bones open, kind of like Backlot Stunt Coaster, for instance, it would be kind of a bad ride. Oh, okay, Hagrid's, an Intamin multi-launch. Is it a cool ride? Yeah. Is it forceful? Whatever. It's a family coaster. If it was let's say it was at Carowinds and it was just out in the open, kind of like Copperhead Strike is, it would be there. It would be something maybe you ride once a visit, but you wouldn't think twice about it. And why is it so popular at Universal? Why does it constantly have, a 2.5 hour wait? Because of the immersion, the theming. You go in there, you're really in the Black Forest. It's incredible. And I never appreciated that, I guess, because I never got to experience that properly, which is something you've been telling me since as long as I've known you. I remember I've had conversations with Brendan when Yukon Striker was new, and he was be like, oh, this is whatever. And he'd be asking me, oh, what parks have you been to? And I'd list off all the parks. And I've been to a lot of parks. And it's like, oh, what do you think of Universal? I've never been to Universal. And he'd look at me like I have two heads. But I get it now. I get it. Like even VelociCoaster, okay, the ride on its own is probably the best roller coaster in the world. But just adding that extra storyline and those like, I don't know, like those Easter eggs and stuff like that, it's incredible. And if done right, I think theming can make a ride from like, a 7 to a 10.
Period. So someone asked earlier, and this is probably the most important thing about your trip. What was your opinion of VelociCoaster?
You know what? I knew this would come up. If you guys remember, we did a podcast a while ago, and I talked about VelociCoaster, and I said, you know what? Yeah, it looks good. It's whatever. It's not the tallest. It's not the fastest, whatever. But my first ride on VelociCoaster, I walked right on single rider line. That's another thing. Universal single rider lines are the best. We need more of them. So, sorry, Behemoth.
Period.
But walked right onto it. The lockers and metal detector system, that blew me away as well. They do it perfectly. Got on the back row. The station blew me away. The operations blew me away. And the trains, these new generation Intamin trains are so gorgeous. The restraints, the trains, just how seamless and how smooth everything was. The restraint came down. I'm a bigger person, like I have a little bit of.
What are you talking about? We're skinny.
Yeah, absolutely skinny. But I felt comfortable. I didn't feel constrained, and I was able to have a little bit of room on my restraint. And this was in row 12. And we roll out, right? And then there's like a little pre-scene where it kind of just holds you there for like 5 seconds, and then they talk and the Raptors are getting ready to go, and then you launch. That first launch is short, but it's punchy, and the air time, the ejector getting dragged around in the back row was incredible. And you're doing like that spaghetti bowl section, and you're in the jungle. Like that's so cool. Like you're literally in the jungle. Like there's palm trees and everywhere, and the theming and the dinosaurs, and it's so cool. But it is so forceful in the back, and it was so smooth. It was smoother than any B&M. It was butter smooth, but it was more intense than Maverick. So you have like one of the most intense experiences ever with not even one slight jolt or rattle. It's incredible. There's nothing like it. And then that second launch hits, and you go up that top hat at 70 miles an hour, like 113 kilometers per hour. And when you get pulled down, it just absolutely ejects you, and then you go upside down. Like I'm literally shaking right now thinking about it.
I can hear it in your voice. I can also hear your roller coaster voice.
Oh yeah, I've been screaming the last like 10 days, so my voice is gone. But I'm shaking just thinking about it. Like there is not one part of that ride that is bad. And then, oh my god, the mosasaur roll! The mosasaur roll! Guys, when you're coming in at the end, like you do that big spaghetti bowl helix thing, and you're getting like thrown sideways, whatever. And then you're coming in on the end of the mosasaur roll, and you're right down like at lagoon level. You do that little airtime hill, which, okay, Millennium's airtime hill where whatever, you float, but this you actually get like shot out. And then you do the mosasaur roll, which is a barrel roll. It's like an outdrawn barrel roll that's not heart-lined, and you get ejected downwards. Like it's ejector airtime, but downwards. And it is I've never experienced anything like it. And you hit that at 53 miles an hour, which, if I'm not wrong, makes that the third fastest inversion in the world.
That's crazy.
And I just fell in love. I was like, I got off and I was shaking, and I'm like, I need to go. I need more. I need more.
I was watching your live streams. I was so happy. There was one night I was so giddy because you were doing a store tour. And I was like, this is the Surya I want. This is the content creator Surya I want. This is everything. It's great. Which, by the way, you have a YouTube channel.
I do.
You posted a video, which no one else, you brought up a good point. Is anyone covering Carowinds?
Yeah, nobody is at Carowinds.
So if you want to see what ride are they, I forget the name of it.
Nighthawk.
He has a video where they're demolishing Nighthawk, and he has a cool shot of the lift hill half gone.
And that was on my way down. When I was on my way up, I wanted to stop there, but it was thunderstorming and it was dark out, so you couldn't see anything. But I can imagine quite a bit more of it is gone now. But it's cool.
Oh, I'm pretty sure our audience, not our audience, but people will get to see a ride get demolished at Canada's Wonderland sometime soon.
Yay!
But let's transition VelociCoaster into something more relatable to Canada's Wonderland, Alpen Fury. So I'm so sorry. There is a construction update coming tomorrow, and this will have a lot of context about tomorrow's construction update, you guys. It's a big one. A big one. They are moving fast. My Patreons will know already, but you've seen the photos.
Yeah.
Alpen Fury is going to have a lot of really close calls with elements around itself.
A lot of head choppers.
A lot of head choppers, and it's hyping me up for the ride experience. I wanted to get your opinion because I don't think you've publicized your opinions outside of your live stream.
So, I have to be honest. I was hit and miss with Alpen Fury, right? Am I a little disappointed with the trains? Yes. But after riding VelociCoaster and seeing how those elements fire so quickly one after another, like, the sideways airtime, the 0G stall, all those things, I'm more excited for Alpen Fury now, because if you look at the POV for Alpen Fury, it is nothing but rapid fire, right? It's boom, 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 like inversion element sideways after another, like it just goes and goes and goes. And what's really cool, and I don't know, like, what they have built so far, when you're coming out from the inverted top hat and then you're down by the side of the mountain going towards the Extreme Skyflyer turnaround, that's an inversion down there, right? Like, that's going to be the first inversion. And you think about it, the ride launches at 115 kilometers an hour, and that gets you up to the top hat, and then you drop 163 feet. So you are going to be going into the second inversion of the ride at speeds of over 110 kilometers an hour, which in my head, like that's probably going to make it one of the fastest inversions in the world. And if it's anything at all, like Max Force's barrel roll or VelociCoaster's barrel roll, like that's going to throw people out. Like, that is going to be intense. That is going to be awesome. And I am extremely excited specifically for that. And even just the other elements, like how quickly one after another they come, I think is going to be something that most people who go to Wonderland have never experienced, right? Because you look at it in terms of the general public, and I'm sorry if I'm talking so much.
No, I was
really
looking
excited.
up the second. I was making sure it is an inversion.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
Yeah.
What was I? Okay, so you look at, like, not even from an enthusiast standpoint, or, I'm sorry, none of us, right? Let's just say, like, whatever we think doesn't matter. It's more catered towards, like, the masses, right? Because that's what's going to make the park money and drive up attendance. Most people, I would probably say 90% of people who go to Wonderland have never seen or experienced anything like this in their life.
No.
Right? Like, we're used to, Leviathan, Behemoth, and for inversions, Yukon Striker. Now, am I saying Yukon Striker's inversions are bad? No, they're smooth, but they don't really do anything minus the loop. I gray out a little bit on the loop.
You gray out on everything. No. I'm pretty sure there's a video of you graying out on the carousel.
But so for inversions, people who go to Wonderland don't really know what, like, an intense inversion is, apart from Yukon, right? Like, what's the other ride that inverts the most? It's Flight Deck.
Yeah. And technically the Bat, right?
And the Bat. Well, the Bat has 3 inversions, but you do it twice.
Yeah.
But look at those rides, or even Dragonfire. Now, out of those rides, I think Dragonfire is probably the smoothest, but there's not an intense ride at Wonderland with rapid paced inversions, and Alpen Fury is going to deliver just that. And it's going to deliver the launch, which, again, most people, 90% of people who go to Wonderland, they've never experienced a proper launch that goes over 100 kilometers an hour, When I was at Backlot this summer, to see people's faces, like, on that launch, they'd be like, oh my God. And that's only 64 kilometers per hour. Like, that's really nothing. And people were freaking out over that. So every time, like, I was there, I was thinking, like, oh my God, they're going to die on Alpen Fury.
Yeah, and you're going to be enclosed in a Rockscapes tunnel on this one.
That is going to
be
so cool.
Like a tight Rockscapes tunnel.
That's going to make it feel faster.
It's going to feel faster. It's going to be dark. I've noticed that the LSMs that we thought could have been for Drop Tower are for Alpen Fury, and so they are black. They went as far to color the LSMs, the supports, and the track all black, so it's invisible.
Which, if you guys, like, know about launch roller coasters, LSMs always, always, always come white. So I think that's actually really cool. Like, they have a white enamel coating, but it's always white. I don't know why. It's just always white. But
yeah,
this is cool.
Yeah, so it's going to be cool. And then on top of it, we can't quite tell, but it almost looks like there's potential they're going to enclose the first launch for some sort of storytelling, or at least the first turn before the launch. So I'm really hoping for some sort of storytelling bit to help with capacity. If they let the train go slowly and they hold it on the launch for a little bit till. Yeah, but who knows? I'm hoping they go all out with theming for this.
Do we know how fast that first launch is going to be?
Like 2 kilometers. What are you expecting? If I had to guess, like
probably 40
kilometers, really? Maybe. I don't know.
Because you're probably going to.
I guess it needs speed. You're right, because the rollback procedure on Alpen Fury is really weird.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, so that brings up. You're actually probably right. They need that speed. So you're right. So, I'm wrong.
Well, yeah, y'all heard that, right? No, I bring that up, and Maverick kind of does it, but Maverick has the ability to stop a train there. But with VelociCoaster could also stop a train there if it rolls back, but it's not meant to. Those rolling launches where a train already rolls into the launch at speed are actually really ingenious, because then technically you shorten the amount of distance you need to travel, but that means you're having more power in that shorter distance. So it's more of a punch. Like, you won't feel the acceleration as long, but you're going to get more of that chest punch feeling, which I think is better for a launch.
So Jake's in the chat. How many trains do you think Alpen Fury needs?
Oh, yeah, I don't... Probably 3.
3, right?
Yeah,
3 trains? It would be so much better with 3 trains.
It would be better with 3 trains. Right, Jake?
He's telling me it wouldn't help capacity. I don't care about capacity. I want a goddamn story.
If they could do it like, if they do it like Universal, I will gladly take a 4D ride.
How many trains does Alpen Fury need, guys, in the chat? How many trains?
In a perfect world.
I think Jake's technically right, where 2 is all it needs. But we won't say that.
5 trains. I like that. Whoever said 5, I like that.
Yeah, then we can have holding sections for story.
Oh my God. We can put a drop track. Guardian doesn't need a drop track.
Has anyone talked about Extreme Skyflyer's element on Alpen Fury? Because like, that's going to be airtime, is it not? It's like Fury.
It literally looks like Fury's treble clef if you look at it, but it inverts. So there's going to be a pretty good pop of sideways.
Yeah, it's going to be almost like. Does it deke at all? I'd have to go back and look at a picture now.
It comes in. Yeah, actually, how does it come in?
I had it up. People were like, "Oh, Brendan's ignoring Surya." I'm over here just checking the stats on Alpen Fury.
We're fact checking. We try and get it right.
Give me a sec, yeah.
It comes in like.
Got it.
Because the 0G stall. Okay, yeah. So you do the 0G stall, and then you kind of come in down, and that sweeps a little bit more sharper than Fury. So if you've seen a picture of Fury's treble clef where it goes 91 degrees, then dives down in the tunnel, at that point it actually fully inverts, and then dives down, while upside down. But instead of going straight, it curves back around. Like, it's hard to.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain it with hand gestures, but...
you know that effect it's going to have with... It's almost going to be like a 90-degree, like you're facing the ground suddenly.
Yeah, but it's almost going to be like a bent corkscrew in a sense, right? Because... No. Like, we need, like, plastic straws to start bending around here. We need track. Because you're going to go into it on that sideways angle, but... Instead of leveling out at like 90 degrees sideways, you're going to continue inverting. And then once you're fully 180 degrees inverted, you're going to start to level out again the other way, but you're going to twist back towards the mountain. Because when you're fully 180 degrees, I know this is kind of confusing, you're technically facing the front gate.
Yeah, you are.
Right? Like, you're facing the water fountain. But think about it. You have to get back in line with the mountain to go back towards the station. So you're going to have like an angle bend that you're going to dive down. So I think it's almost going to be like, it's probably going to feel like a dive loop too.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
So,
yeah. That's what it kind of looks like. No, that actually perfectly describes like that pullout. Yeah. Because you're almost like boof.
But yeah, instead of diving down, you have to dive at an angle to go back. So that's going to be pretty cool.
Oh, the forces. And Premier promised us in our interview that the pacing was going to be maintained through the whole ride. Start to finish. If that's true, that last little airtime hill. So the typical angle that I film Alpen Fury at in the drone updates from across the highway it makes the airtime hill look flat and like kind of poorly designed. But when I fly over beside the hospital in that mound of dirt, you can see the shaping of the airtime hill is a lot more. It has shaping to it.
It's more defined. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you guys have to remember sometimes when you do see the drone footage, even though especially now it's a lot more clear, it is still distorts how things look sometimes. So you just remember that when you're looking at this coaster and the construction.
Although the pictures are very clear, that's impressive.
It was a very expensive drone.
I don't know. That always blows me away. I remember when Brendan first like showed a picture, and I'm like, "Oh my god, is that a movie?" I know that's off topic, but it's still.
Oh
I
my
still
god!
think, like, wow.
This is the last drone for a while. The drone is sold out. It's meant for like search and rescue and engineering.
Well, look at this thing. Look at that.
The controller, I still don't know how to use it.
I thought that was like a Nintendo Switch or something.
What I really find useful about this drone is the nighttime view, and the AI feature it has where it can automatically pinpoint an animal, a car, or a person. So sometimes I'll be flying at Wonderland and the AI feature will be on and it'll tell me where there's a construction worker or a surveyor or something currently doing something. It'll sense it, or a hawk. It'll pre-warn me something's trying to attack. But no, it was a very good investment, but definitely the most cost. It's the price of a used car.
Yeah.
It's insane. But yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoy because that one hurt. That one hurt a lot. But let's get into it. So
let's
let our audience choose.
Like started talking about any podcast topic really. We've just been rambling.
Yeah, we've just been rambling. Okay, so guys, I'm going to present topics of discussion and you guys pick what we move on to next. So you have Marineland, and that incorporates kind of two topics of discussion, Herschend and Marineland. And then we can talk about Wonderland's development into a theme park. Or we can talk about Santa's Village and their investments. And I think that's all the main three topics we have. You guys pick. The most... I gotta get my phone for this. I have hiccups now.
Marineland. I see quite a few Marinelands.
We're going to talk about all three, though. Don't worry.
I think people want Marineland.
Okay, well, it looks like Marineland.
Marineland. So, this is your expertise.
Marineland's a funny story because you were trying to call me the one night, if you remember, and I was supposed to go live with you.
Yeah.
And then I was ignoring you, and it was because we were finding all these documents, and I had to explain to you the next day.
Maybe I'm not going to come back.
So Marineland has a hearing on February 18th. I'll sum it up because you didn't even, you were so in your VelociCoaster era. You were just like, I don't give a crap what's going on with Marineland.
It's true. I was kind of in my own bubble.
I don't blame you. Oh, Hagrid's.
30-degree temperatures.
No, I don't. That's not my cup of tea. I like my low 20s. But I'm rambling. Okay, so Marineland has a hearing on February 18th. We are going. And one of my great friends, Cole, obviously does our Marineland digging. And there's a reason when we got the new drone, we're sending my other good one, over to Marineland to cover the documentation of what's about to happen. But essentially, to sum things up of current information that we know, is Marineland is in the process of closing a deal. So the talks have progressed far enough that there is a good discussion between two businesses, the current owners of Marineland and the future owners of Marineland, whoever it may be. And basically, the new owners are requesting the current owners get rid of the animals before the sale. And in order to do that, Marineland has had to rezone some of its land in order to secure temporary funding, keyword temporary, funding until they're obviously paid for the sale, to relocate the animals, every single one of them, off property. Whales, land animals, all of it, gone. And that's what I find quite interesting, not to get into politics, but all these politicians right now being like, oh, they think, well, yeah, it's already happening. Like, shut up. Stop using that for your political gain. Like, Marineland's already in the process. From what I understand, there isn't even a family member that owns Marineland. It's passed on to her lawyers or something. Now take that with a huge grain of salt. It's obviously the interest is to sell it. The redefined zones of Marineland are a lot smaller. It's shrunk by mass.
So, just before Marineland got like parceled out, how many acres was it roughly?
1,000.
1,000 acres. That's 3 Wonderlands. That's including the park. That's crazy.
Yeah. And now, where the rides currently are, where its current development, including what was supposed to be the aviary, right? That's the right word? Yeah. That little big kind of like man-made pond. Not the one that's used currently, the one that was supposed to be used but isn't, behind the bear exhibit. That's the new theme park lands, and that's it. So it's a lot smaller. Like, everything else is designated as wetlands or city use. There is also what some of you don't know about that wasn't in this document release, but another one is they're also trying to get city funding for a tram that goes directly from across Marineland down to the main strip. Yeah. So, obviously, this is all part of a bigger vision outside of Marineland. I know we're talking about Marineland, but basically, Niagara Falls is trying to become like the Las Vegas of Ontario, says some of our politicians. Not going to get into it, by the way. Don't worry. Oh! I thought the chair was about to quit.
Oh, that buckled.
Okay, note to self: don't try and move the chair. What would happen if these chairs just quit on us right now? I would literally end stream.
I would go back to Florida.
I would end stream. Okay, but I would actually.
I would go to the gym right now. I'd be like, we're going to the gym.
I need therapy. More. But basically, so there's a lot going on with Niagara Falls outside of Marineland. It's really exciting. We're gonna find out more on February 18th. Herschend. So, if you guys watched, I can't remember. I made a video. I'm gonna give you guys a lot of tea. Again, Cole is like this. He loves Marineland more than anyone. He has. Anytime anything's going on at Marineland, Cole's the first one like in my ear explaining what it is, and we're working together to figure stuff out. So, Cole, to give you guys a little information, and this is 100% truthful. I'm not lying about anything. Cole can back it up. Cole actually had a call with Herschend about a year ago. One of the top people of Herschend, he had a phone call, and they were talking about, reasons why Marineland would be a good purchase for Herschend. Herschend talked about how they had eyed the property a couple times, and, he didn't say that they were going to buy it, or there was no information. Nothing was leaked in the phone call, but it was just a good phone conversation happening between Cole and Herschend about Marineland and the property. I do not know how Cole got this phone call. It wasn't linked to Amusement Insiders whatsoever. It was just Cole. But it was a really good conversation, and they had expressed they had, been eyeing the property. They have previously discussed buying the property. Among other people as well. They talked about SeaWorld wanting to buy it. But on Wikipedia, there was a recent change to Herschend being the buyer of Marineland and it being confirmed. That's not confirmed. We did our research. Someone in Colorado made that edit at like 12 a.m. Or whatever it was. So it isn't confirmed to be Herschend. I do have good reason to think that Herschend would be a potential buyer. But I wouldn't get your hopes up in terms of Marineland. I do think... So the scarier thing is there is an overseas company from Dubai that has also been in the documents outside of the February 18th meeting and the recent leaks that have kind of popped up in terms of being an investor to this property. So that's what I've been eyeing in terms of who's going to own Marineland, and it is scary. But it would stay a theme park. I would also say that if any of you remember, and I'm sure you remember this, Cedar Fair more specifically Canada's Wonderland, took out a $200 million loan revolving credit a year ago too. So that's either going towards some sort of resort on property or a purchase of another park inside Canada. Because there's and this information is public if you know where to look, by the way. I'm going to make a video on it. Essentially, Canada's Wonderland's changed their name from Canada's Wonderland to the Canada's Wonderland Company. So there's a lot of changes going on, and they've recently incorporated Wonderland as a hotel and resort designation within Canada. And on top of that, they have that $200 million loan. So we're keeping our eye on that because there are signs that are pointing to some sort of Wonderland's got some sort of big expansion under its belt, or they're looking to, expand a little bit within Canada. So that's all hearsay, by the way. That is all strictly opinion based off of what I'm seeing on government agency websites. But that is what we have right now, the $200 million revolving credit, and the Canada's Wonderland becoming the Canada's Wonderland Company with its own bank, essentially outside. That also could be them, for those of you that don't know economics and the business world, that could be their way of avoiding the low dollar. So they need to take routes and avenues to avoid the loss of every dollar that a Canadian spends here and converting it over to American dollars. So there are ways, and that could be that. So we're keeping an eye on it. We're watching. There are players out there. It is going to be a theme park. I know that was part of the sale agreement. What's really exciting is there's the potential that they could just bulldoze the park and start from scratch. But that means it's going to be closed for like 5 years.
Well, I mean, Marineland is... Well, I don't really know much about Marineland, but even if let's just say if it was to be closed for 5 years, I don't think that would be such a, terrible loss. In the sense, if they were going to improve it. One thing I wanted to ask you, Brendan, is that even though a lot of the land has been parceled off and rezoned for other designations, the part that is still remaining a theme park, how many acres roughly do you think is?
This is a huge estimate. We'll know more on February 18th, but I would say about the same size as Wonderland, maybe a little bit less.
So it's still big enough to have a major amusement park.
Oh, for sure. But they would need to start from scratch because right now how it's designed is...
the infrastructure's not there.
Yeah, it's just... The infrastructure's there, but there's so many, rides spread out that building stuff that mountain with the skyscraper on top of it is
well, that's all man-made, that mountain, and it's probably not even that stable to hold if you want to put more stuff on top of it,
they would have to completely probably redo it. From what I understand, there's a giant cement pillars that go
all the way down for our skyscraper,
which is such a waste of money. Think about how much that costs nowadays.
Oh, that's
if they wanted to do that
nowadays. I also want to say that I'm sure everyone does know, but Herschend also manages Dollywood and Silver Dollar City, which are, Dollywood is widely recognized as one of the greatest theme parks in the world. Silver Dollar City is also an amazing property, and they also own a lot of aquariums and other tourist attractions. So
I don't know if you guys know this, but they did just recently purchase a Canadian property out in Vancouver.
Was that
an aquarium? So they do have interest in expanding into Canada. These are all things to just take for, with a grain of salt, because this is all speculation. But Herschend is also a really successful company in terms of managing their bottom line. They have low debts. They expand and spend their money wisely. It's almost like that smart, conservative businessman. If they're going to spend $200 million, they wait 4 to 5 years to recoup that expansion cost before expanding again. So it's very smart investments that company does. And they're running out of things to do at
Dollywood.
That they're two parks in the States. They're two big parks in the States. And you look at a park like Wonderland, And to me, like, this is where I kind of look at anyone in the community, like SeaWorld, Busch Gardens, they're the same company, Universal, even Hershey. Like, how has no one picked up this park? All you got to do is remove the animals, slap a new name on that, and build rides, and you're guaranteed 3 million attendance at minimum, not including the studies of how many tourists Niagara Falls sees a year.
Yeah, that's...
It's stupid to me that no one's scooped that up. If I had the money, never will. I'm sure everyone says this every day. Like, what you could do with that property is insane. Like, it's the perfect location. To me, I don't understand why Six Flags isn't looking at that and being like, close Darien Lake and move our assets over to there. Like, it's crazy to me. Like, it should.
Well, I was even going to say, if you want to look at competition, like the closest real, like, okay, Darien Lake, but, and this is no offense to Darien Lake at all. I know they still have like a 200-foot hypercoaster, but I don't think they're competition. You know what I mean? Like,
no, they're not.
Like, if you've ever been to Darien Lake, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
They have a good water park though, right?
Not really.
Oh. I thought they had something good.
They run one train on everything, even when it's busy.
All I know is I rode their Enterprise and it almost killed me. I thought I was having a heart attack.
Good quality attractions. But their closest competition is Wonderland. But, you know, with like Southern Ontario and even like, you know, parts of New York, like Buffalo, and even if you go a little bit further out, like south of New York, in this area, probably within like 150 kilometer radius, there's almost 8 million people. So there is the population to support another major amusement park.
Yeah.
Which, you know, again, I love Wonderland and all, but I think it would be good to have competition, like actual competition. And somebody like Hershey, you know, that manages properties like Dollywood and Silver Dollar City. Well, you look at Dollywood and Silver Dollar City and see what they've gotten in the last 10 years. Like, yeah, they might not get something new every single year, you know, maybe like the SeaWorld parks or whatever, but they're also stretching themselves thin.
Yes.
But you
not able to pay their debts. Again,
you look at the quality of attractions that Hershey gives their parks, like they're really, really good. Like it's stuff that everybody likes, like family rides, high thrill rides. And if you bring that to Marineland, I really think, you know, that would be viable competition for a place like Wonderland. And, you know, you'd have such a big population center to feed from. I think it would be successful.
Yeah. You could probably do better than Wonderland, to be honest, in that population area. Does it not have more visitors? How many visitors?
I think on average there's a daily average, because when COVID was happening, they released like the tourist information for Niagara Falls when they were lobbying the government, and they said some days in the summer it's like almost 200,000 people a day go to that area.
That's crazy.
Like 200,000 people a day, and I'm not knocking Niagara Falls because yeah, there's the casinos and stuff, but I like other than Clifton Hill and looking at the falls, there's you know, for that many people, like, I don't know. I think a major amusement park would be very successful.
And that's not even it. We're talking about the Canadian side of things here right now.
Yeah.
You are on a border, a major border crossing. So if you were an American brand and your people on that side of the border already knew your brand, because like the whole other conversation we haven't talked about is Hershey.
Yeah.
Hershey would that's another park that manages its finances brilliantly. Like,
and they get the attractions.
Yeah.
Like Hershey has some of the best attractions in the world.
So again, I am shocked. The two biggest people, and third being Six Flags, Hershey and Hershey, are idiots to not scoop this up, in my opinion. The only reason I would say Hershey doesn't make sense in Niagara Falls is Hershey is a very religious brand. Very religious. And we don't necessarily have that over here. Not me touching on any opinions, by the way. But if anyone knows, like, where they operate down south, like, it's a very religious area.
Dollywood has
so
a
their
full-on church in the park.
Yeah, which is beautiful. But it just, that's the only part of it where I'm like, what would they do in Niagara? Would they continue that story? Or would they branch out? Would that story work in a place like Ontario, Canada? Like, there's a lot of questions. Hershey would be great, but
you know, you say that though, and look, they still got an aquarium in Vancouver.
That's true. So. That's true. Devil's advocate here. Actually, that's very true. Touche.
No, like even they own another property in Valdosta, Georgia, another amusement park called Wild Adventures, and it's a lot smaller of a park. It's more comparable to the size of like Darien Lake, but they run that, and I've been there before, and you know, it's not the busiest, but they run it well, and I think even something, you know, like that coming to Marineland would still be an improvement.
Yeah, but I did want to touch just the what do you call it, Wikipedia article or Wikipedia. It means nothing. It was done by an enthusiast. That was thing. Now I will say
Kentucky Kingdom. Sorry.
Oh, what?
Well, Coaster Bay just said Kentucky Kingdom. Yeah, Herschend manages that too, and you know, I don't know how you feel about the place if you've ever been there. It's, you know, not what it is. What it is. They do well for what they have, and that park's past. You know, okay, Kentucky Kingdom might not be the best property, but if you look at how Herschend took it over after that, you know, horrific accident that Six Flags unfortunately, like,
What happened there?
a long time ago, it's when it was Six Flags Kentucky Kingdom, the drop tower accident where the girl lost her.
Oh,
Yeah, that was
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, it shut the
Sorry,
park.
you had me curious.
No, it shut the park down, and Herschend came in, and they saved the property. They saved the park.
Well, we have a project for them up here. We have just the project for them.
They saved it, and they, you know, for again what it is and what they inherited, they operated pretty well.
And that's a whole other topic of discussion. Whoever buys this property and gets those animals to the habitats that they need to get to, they're going to look like saving graces. Like it's a little. It can't be SeaWorld then, because then that's a double. Like,
Yeah, SeaWorld.
but like any amusement park that comes in, takes over, gets rid of the animals, and operates as a theme park is going to have everyone like win, 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 win. More people going to Niagara, more people spending dollars in Niagara. The animals are gone. Phil Demers can retire. Like,
well, that was the biggest thing about like Marineland's downfall. Essentially, was the animals. Right?
Yeah, that's 100% it. And it pisses me off because the family was so fake with all their promises. Like I remember I was even won over for a good 2 years where when we were talking with the I should say allegedly because their lawyer's scary as, but you know. We were talking with them and they said they had all this plan and they even told us rides that they were interested in buying and we're like, oh, this could be so great. And then nothing changed with the animals.
No, they didn't care about the animals.
No, they didn't. It was all BS. It was literally a story to try and win over the public for a couple of years. And
they use that excuse as education. No, it's educate. No, you're still profiting off the animals and the animals.
Yeah,
you know.
I wouldn't say profiting. There was hardly anyone in the park.
True. Well,
Cole, if you're watching, I'm sorry, but there'd be days we'd walk in the park and I'm like, Cole, I swear we're the only ones here. And there were nights where we were the only ones there. But yeah, I think that's all we have. Do you have anything to say on Marineland?
No,
Should we do a boring topic now? It's not boring because I'm really excited about Santa's Village.
Yay!
So
how many of y'all heard of Santa's Village before they got this right?
I love Santa's Village.
I've never been there.
Oh, I love it. We're going to be doing an event there this year, so that's going to be exciting for their new ride, Yeti Trek.
It's probably better than Penguin Trek.
I mean, it looks like it. It
won't rattle.
It looks good, and it flies through the forest, which is going to be. It's kind of a terrain coaster. Building it has been so complex.
That's what I wanted to ask you because you actually got to go there, right?
Yeah.
And, like, see it. So it's pretty cool if you guys know like Santa's Village and like Bracebridge and stuff. There is a lot of exposed bedrock. It's called outcrop, and it's all granite. So granite is one of the hardest naturally occurring rocks in the world, and it's very difficult to chisel and drill down into it. So how do you think that has affected the construction of this ride? Because under normal circumstances, a ride like this, like, it's good, but it's a family coaster. It's not that big. It probably should have been built in 2-3 months. You know, like Snoopy's Racing Railway.
Yeah.
But where they're building it, the challenge of building on that kind of terrain,
Yeah.
like, that's pretty cool that they're doing something like this.
So there's a lot I've gotten to see from covering it. I know you guys haven't seen a construction update yet. It is coming. It is coming. There's certain things, you know, when you're working with a park, you have to be like, you know, but one of the most challenging things is exactly what you just said. How they have to essentially, what the park was explaining to me is they've had to pile drive almost like square footings for every footing of the ride, and then build the footing. So it's almost like a footing stacked on top of a footing. So they have the pile drives, and please correct me because you know more about me. I'm describing it in dumb terms right now. But they pile drived a really deep rooted footing and built a footing, like the actual footing for the ride on top of these, so it goes below the bedrock.
So they would put piles into the bedrock, like
Yes.
steel piles?
Yes, and then they
And then
connect
they-
the footing to those steel piles. And I was there. When did we go to the cottage?
4 weekends ago?
4 weekends ago. I was
my
there
God, that's
4
long.
weeks ago filming, and they were just finishing footings. Just.
That process though to do the because essentially what that's describing is you put piles in, so you have something that's solid and stable. Not saying the bedrock isn't, but you have something even, and then you build a ledge, you build a table. That's what it's called. It's like a flat surface that you can then put whatever you want on it. But to drill through that granite, that's impressive.
And then there's other things too, like they're expanding their parking lot by like double the size right now as well. So that got me excited because I'm like, oh, this park, like, you know, they're excited about their future. They're expanding their parking lot by double the size. This is just step 2 in like a 5-step expansion for Santa's Village, and basically, for those of you that don't know, it's like a group of citizens in Bracebridge that own Santa's Village. It's not one family.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a group of citizens. They're very protective of their, the theme park, and they really want to see it thrive. So they're trying to develop it into like more of a modern destination park where people in the Toronto area are like, well, I want to go rent a cabin and stay for the weekend at Santa's Village. So it's gonna be really exciting to see them transform that.
Well, that's what I also wanted to say. Like, yeah, it's kind of up there in the middle of nowhere, but even like you just said, you have a cottage there. In the summer, do you think that's going to be a popular destination for the cottagers? Because there's a lot of people who still go up there for cottaging and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we were there filming, and it was busy. Like, when we think of Santa's Village up here in the Toronto area, like, personally, I was never going to go to Santa's Village if it wasn't for Yeti Trek. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so that says everything. It's definitely drawing a lot more people, but when we were there, it was busy. Like, we got to go twice when it was open to public now, and it was swamped. Like, there was one day where when we got there, it was a little slower, and then it was like lineups for everything. Like the train ride, it looked like it would have taken like an hour to get on. And I was like, wow, this is like a successful theme park in Ontario that not many people even know about. But it's the perfect park for the little families. So obviously when we're at Wonderland riding our big rides, but there is another park out there for a whole different audience. So it's gonna be awesome to see it transform from like a Planet Snoopy theme park
to an actual like
into a family theme park. I don't think they're ever going to build adult rides, obviously. No Giga Coasters. No VelociCoaster. But they have a lot of pull in Bracebridge, so it's gonna be really exciting to see what they're able to do with this land. Because where I thought they couldn't expand, they're bulldozing right now. I didn't know they owned it, so I'm like, oh wow, they're going through granite too. They're like, there's a granite mountain with a forest on it, and they just took it down and turned it into a parking lot. And I'm like, you can do that? Like,
that's expensive to do.
Yeah,
like, that is a major investment on its own. Like,
doing
something like that.
So I'm excited. I'm really excited for Santa's Village. Again, any new investment, any new change for the theme park industry, in Ontario is exciting. I know, because this thing weighs, by the way, this Skyrider wheel.
So friggin' cool.
Weighs like, what would you say, like 60 pounds?
Probably like 30 pounds.
30.
It's solid steel. It's cast steel.
I never realized coaster wheels weigh that much. And then I have like an end cap that you gave me actually for a Yukon Striker.
Good.
Yeah. Oh, so any other thoughts on Santa's Village? What would you like them to build next? Hagrid's?
Okay, like what I would really like or like realistic or
realistic.
Okay. First, I want to do my dream. I would love a good B&M hyper coaster. Okay, no, maybe not Giga Coaster, but like Mako. Something intense, something that flies around in the forest. Realistically, though, I think something like Zambezi Zinger. like a smaller wooden coaster. I think that would fit in really well with the forest theme. They could like call it like Timberwolf or something wolf or something. I don't know, like
What in the Wonderland?
moose
Moose catcher?
Yeah. I don't know. I think a wooden coaster would fit really nicely in the landscape, and you know, with like the hills and the granite, it would be a little bit easier to build because you don't need those huge like gargantuan footings, and you know, you can do it along the terrain, so you wouldn't need as much material. I think something like that would be really cool.
Yeah.
What about you? What do you think in like 5 years?
An intimate family coaster. Because realistic.
Yeah,
Like
I could see that.
Like an intimate, yeah.
Multi-launch.
Let's start this topic of discussion.
Okay.
The tariffs. What effect will they have on our future rides at Wonderland, Surya? Come on, explain.
I'm leaving.
I just remembered.
I'm leaving. Okay.
All right, B&M fanboy. Let's say a certain somebody, we won't name names. Let's say a certain country implements their tariffs, and you know we implement ours back.
Unfortunately, not unfortunately. I you know, if you know like B&M, every single B&M that is made, that any park in North America or Europe gets, is manufactured at Claremont Steel in Octavia, Ohio. It's like 30 minutes from Kings Island. They've been doing it there since day one. They have all the specifications, they have the equipment, they have the materials, they have the knowledge and the skill, and they've perfected their craft. And that's where the track comes from. That's where the supports come from. That's where B&M comes from. And putting tariffs specifically on Canada over steel would mean that the steel in a B&M roller coaster will be 25% more expensive for Canada's Wonderland to purchase. And that's on top of the dollar, which is already like not doing that good. In fact, anything that comes from the United States now that's made out of steel will be 25% more expensive. And just to put that into terms, Leviathan costed $28 million in, you know, 2012. So imagine putting 25% more of that cost on, we'll say $30 million.
Yeah.
That's unrealistic. That's unrealistic when you can go to a company like Intamin or Mock and get something that is equivalent, if not better, for 25% less.
Yeah. And like obviously that $30 million isn't like what it costs to manufacture the ride. But let's say $5 million of that $30 million is like the cost of the steel and all that. That's still $1,250,000 more than you were originally going to purchase. That's one train.
Jake will like that. All B&Ms will open with 2 trains now.
So it's no matter your political viewpoints, which I'm not here to like think, the tariffs are 100% a deterrent for a company like Bulgar and Mabillard in selling coasters to a place like Canada or even Europe. Does the what do you call that plant where they manufacture again? What's the name of it? Claremont. Do they manufacture? Because did they not do the track for Nemesis?
Yeah. They
so
manufacture for
Europe
everything
as well.
in North America and all of Europe.
Yeah.
Supports and track.
So it's unfortunately it's either they're gonna have to find another manufacturer in Europe, because there are good ones. Intamin has some phenomenal ones out that way in 2 locations out in the European Union, I think somewhere. I can't remember. We were looking heavily at 2 of them.
One of the places, Coaster Studios did a documentary on that. One of those countries. It's not Germany, but it's like
Lithuania or something like that. And
no, that's a good point. And you know, again, at the end of the day, I still, you know, I love B&M. I'm a B&M fanboy, but it's
so good. Keep going.
Fury. It's not even the best. That hurt. It's sad because, you know, that if you think about it, that could be the start of the real downfall of B&M, when companies are going to look at them and be like, well, you know, why should we pay 25% more for your product when your competitor Intamin offers something that's brand new that the world has never seen, and it's 25% cheaper.
Yeah.
And another thing is, and it's funny because everyone says, oh, just switch manufacturing. It's a lot more difficult to switch manufacturing for something that niche, right? Because Claremont has been doing it for 30 years, so they've perfected their craft. The people who work there know the tolerances, they know the specifications, they have the equipment. Those plasma cutters that cut the half-inch thick steel sheets, those machines, you look how much one of those plasma cutters cost, and those are like $200 million machines, and not you can't just pick up and move somewhere else to a different country. So
yeah.
It's unfortunate.
So the more exciting news is we could see more Vacomas. And wait, no, where do they manufacture Vacoma?
I have no idea. Probably
not in the States.
Not in the States. The things that are manufactured in the States: B&M, S&S, and Premier, RMC,
and Zamperla.
Zamperla is manufactured in the States,
isn't it?
The track? I don't know.
I'd be second guessing myself.
Wait, I don't know. Is it?
No, it isn't, because Mach does it for. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of the Snoopy's Racing Railway. Mach does the track for Snoopy. The company that.
I thought it was Italy.
It probably is. I thought they secured a manufacturing plant in the US.
After Top Thrill 2, probably not.
Isn't it? Isn't the track?
Somebody might.
Guys in chat.
Zamperla is a coaster based at The company is based in Italy, but where is the track manufactured?
I thought they have a manufacturing plant in the US now.
I don't know, maybe.
But regardless, they would probably still have one in Europe.
Okay.
Vacoma is Europe. Intamin is Europe. When I say Europe, I'm talking about the continent.
With these tariffs, would that affect our future working with Premier? Because that comes from Utah.
Yes, I think so. In the last week, the rest of the ride got shipped suddenly, and I'm not gonna lie to you, some of the black supports don't look like they have all their coats on them.
They like, get them out now, get them out right now.
I think there was a rush, because there's some of the black supports. I'm like, you don't look like you have your shiny coat on. You look dull.
Because even with a tariff, and again, I'm not like an economist, but as soon as they implement it, it doesn't matter if your product is already manufactured, right? If it's at the border, they will still charge that 25% extra. Yeah,
and just to explain the tariffs, again, I'm not trying to get political. Like, whatever you do is you. But for example, as someone that's obsessed with DJI products, drones, a lot of Americans have been ordering DJI drones, and if they're coming from overseas, they're denied at the border now. That's how serious it's gotten.
Oh, that's
and
crazy.
Then Temu shipments and all them, which good, because that company's terrible, are being tariffed. So people are getting these like big bills in the States. But yeah, so anything essentially coming across that border is going to get that tariff, especially if it's steel. But more importantly, the manufacturing plants that build your coasters in the States, to explain it in less dumb terms, if they're not going to tariff the coaster shipments coming across, what's going to happen is the steel from China, because from what I understand, B&M uses China steel now. I remember we looked it up because every once in a while you'll see a shipment from China going to the Claremont Steel Factory.
Every once in a while, he's going to B&M crack.
And that is going to be tariffed. So your coaster is going to be more expensive regardless. RMC, I don't know where they get their steel from, but I'm assuming it's either from Canada or China or one of the countries that are going to be tariffed. So it's going to be higher cost regardless. So the good news is, I think it's great news. I think it's absolutely phenomenal news, because we're going to see more Vacomas and we're going to see more Intamins and even more Machs. And that couldn't be more exciting for a park like Wonderland.
Yeah, we don't.
Right, Surya? No wing coaster.
Wing coaster. No invert.
Okay, can we, for those of you who have watched the podcast since the beginning of time, do you remember a time where I defended B&M and Surya loved Intamin? It has completely flipped. This guy wants a wing coaster.
I think it would be fun. Gatekeeper is a fun ride.
Absolutely, in no world. Can you imagine if Alpen Fury...
I don't care what bounce y'all are talking about. It adds character to
It does like one inversion and hits the brake run. Because that's all the speed it has.
I have to be honest, guys. Pipeline was very terrible. So.
Yeah, wait, you rode all the new B&Ms lately, and you said every single one of them.
They were the worst rides I've ever. Penguin Trek and Rising Phoenix were the worst rides I've ever.
If Jake's in here, he's gonna hurt you about that opinion on Pipeline.
Why is there a trim brake on Pipeline? That's unnecessary.
Isn't it on an airtime hill?
It's on an air. It's going down and up into an invert. Like it makes no sense. But a wing coaster, a B&M wing coaster, I'm just
no. Okay, can I honestly? Wing coasters are terrible. They are. Can you imagine if Alpen Fury was a wing coaster? And this is where I get it. Premier trains this. Premier trains that. Premier has some of the smoothest track in the industry. Did you know that? If you look it up, Premier actually has some of the smoothest shaping and track out there. There's an interview where they talk about that somewhere. I'm gonna have to find it. Jake probably will remember it because we watched it.
No, it was at IAPA.
Oh, at IAPA, yeah.
IAPA. Yep.
And their technology is tested and tried. On top of that, you look at a ride like Alpen Fury, and I am biased. It is my home park, I know, but I was totally not. You want me to be fully honest? When I first learned it was Premier, we'll go back. Do you remember when I first heard from a source that it was going to be Premier, and I was like, absolutely not. I don't believe this for the life of me. And this source has never led me wrong ever. It's the person that told me about Lazy Bear Lodge 2 years in advance. When they told me it was Premier, I did not want to believe it. I stuck true to Intamin because the spacers, there's only about three manufacturers that use those thick design of a spacer. Because then you have the squares for Vekoma and all that. I fought tooth and nail in my mind for it to not be Premier. I remember so hard in Discord, we'd be like, it can't be, it's not going to be. And Source was like, well, just you wait and see. Well, we waited when that piece of paper of the blueprint flipped over. And Premier dual launch right there, yeah. I wasn't a fan of it at first. And then, they announced it. And I have to say, it looks better than Maverick. If you really hold element to element, you look at it, it's packed from start to finish. That ride does not do something to you at all times. It's better than Pantheon. It is. Come on. Okay, no, let's have this debate.
Let's do it. First of all, I am not hating on Alpen Fury. I think it is an amazing addition to Wonderland. I need to get that out of my way. But now let's go, girl. Let's go.
They're on your side already.
Yeah, what? Look at that. Thank you. No. Okay. Layout? Okay. Let's break it down. Let's talk about the layout. I will give you that 9 inversions, rapid fire, back to back, puts it in the top 1% of coasters that does inversions, because there are less than 10 roller coasters in the world that do 9+ inversions.
Yeah.
Right? Am I right? I'm pretty sure that's right. I can only think of 6. So Maverick.
It's original.
No, okay. Well, first, okay. So in terms,
everyone's triggered.
It is. I know. I am triggered. Don't worry, guys. I got you. I'm defending you. I got you. Okay. So in terms of that rapid fire and inversions, okay. I don't think Pantheon can't beat that. Pantheon only goes upside down 3 times, if that 1 time. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think 1 time. I can't remember. Maverick has 2 inversions. I should know.
No, 3?
3?
Huh?
Or is that what the Heartline rule?
No, it has...
I've written 2. Maverick has 2 inversions, yeah. Pantheon has 2. Maverick, I think, has 2. So, okay, in terms of inversions, no, none of those rides are beating it, right? I don't know what Alpen Fury is going to feel like. I have an idea on some of those, swooping curves. I'm sure we're going to get some laterals and stuff.
Period.
So, in terms of the layout, yes, it's going to be rapid fire. There's going to be unique elements that no one knows about, but it's going to be short.
There's a fire in his eyes.
There is a fire in my eyes.
He's looking at me like he's about to murder.
No. If he goes missing, you know what happened. So, yeah, okay. It's going to have the inversions. No roller coaster in North America can really touch that. Steel curtain, but it's going to be quick. It's going to be really quick, right?
Yeah, it's ride time, and Jake knows the ride time. Isn't it like
seconds?
It's less than that, I think. From first launch to end, it's like 47 seconds or something like that. I could be wrong.
So it's going to be fast. I'm not saying the layout is bad. I think the layout is really good. In fact, the layout is amazing. I really wish it was Intamin who made that layout. And this is why. This is where my problem is. It's the trains.
Yes.
It is the trains. And I think you can have the best layout in the world. And maybe this is just my opinion. I'm gonna say, look at Skyrush. That layout, that first drop, those elements, how fast you go, like it is just amazing. But the restraints on the trains just ruin everything.
You know what? You kind of pointed at hypocrisy in my opinion there, because I hated
Skyrush.
I hated Skyrush, and it was all because of the trains.
The layout fantastic, but those trains are just I don't know. And I'm not denying, like, even I just rode or Tigris. I just rode Tigris the other day, and super smooth, super intense, whatever. And it's like Tempesto, same thing, super smooth. Transitions, fantastic. But those trains, the way that the restraint is designed, and it's not even the comfort collars, it's the shin guards, and it's how cramped you are in those trains. And maybe it's just because I'm on the bigger side and I'm tall, I'm 6'2". It is uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable.
I was rewatching a POV of us riding Tempesto at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg.
Yeah, you look like you're in pain.
I didn't realize that. I think I statused at first, because when the guy came by, if you heard it, it clicked finally.
Yeah.
I never clued into that until I was watching it the other day, and I was like, oh.
So, Tigris is just like a cookie cutter ride, but again, layout is good. But then you look at a ride like Pantheon. I think Pantheon's trains are amazing. Those restraints are comfortable. The trains are very nice.
Yes.
The open air experience.
Yes. Vekoma, Mach, and Intamin, you can't compete with their trains.
And I think trains make or break it. Especially after this week on VelociCoaster, seeing those trains. If VelociCoaster had like over the shoulder restraints and some stupid hard plastic, I'd be like, this is terrible.
Yeah, but this is coming from the guy that likes Rip Ride Rocket.
Whoa, what's wrong with the... You're going to rip the Ride Rocket. What's wrong with the Rip Ride Rocket? It's a good ride. It's a really good ride.
It's great. Also, one of the rides I thought you would have thought was so boring. Green Gots?
I love Green Gots.
I love it when she whips you with the blue.
Yeah, and then you're like fly. And the tilt track is fun. But okay, that's more for theming. If we're talking about just pure ride experience and the trains, because the trains
talk about the colors. Ugh. I hate Alpen Fury's color.
Colors.
Like, what is this?
Excuse me.
All of our coasters are going to be this color now.
Leviathan is an original, good-looking coaster. It's not white, it's like baby blue. I don't know. You know what I really like on Alpen Fury? The part that no one's going to be able to see, the black track.
The black track that makes me want to
so good looking.
Mm-hmm.
So good looking, but no one's going to see that.
Mm-hmm. I don't mind the brown supports either.
No, those look nice. If they could have kept that all the way through, but
I wish the track was white.
When it fades, it's going to be white.
No, it's not. It's going to be black from like oil. Have you seen If you guys want to see an ugly sight at Wonderland, go to the hospital side of Jane. Is that Jane?
Yeah.
No, Major Mac. Go to Major Mac, stand next to Leviathan, and look at the lift hill.
Grease everywhere.
It's like it literally looks like they attempted to paint it black and then gave up.
I see a lot of we could do like a Q&A after.
Yes, we are going to do a Q&A section to end it, as always. Oh my God, we've already been live for an hour and 10 minutes. It hasn't felt like it.
No, okay, so I personally think Maverick is going to be better, and I think Pantheon's going to be better. I know you probably didn't want to hear that. I will say, though, if you want my honest opinion, I will say that I think both of those rides are better than Leviathan.
So that's my other question. What ride do you think is going to be the best? In order, from 1 to 4 now. Rank what you think the rides will be.
For me or for the general public?
For you.
Leviathan, Alpen Fury, Behemoth, Yukon.
Okay, now the general public.
Alpen Fury, Leviathan, Behemoth, Yukon. I still think Leviathan will over time have the biggest line.
I'm earthquaking.
Yeah, it's gonna fall down. That wheel's gonna break us.
Can you imagine? We just like, what do you call Endgame on stream?
What was I saying? If you want to talk about like comparing it to Leviathan,
It's way better. Okay, Leviathan's got the drop.
and the speed.
The speed. That it loses on the third element.
Not when they add the wheel heaters and
You know what's funny? Every single ride at Wonderland right now loses the speed on the third element.
Well, okay, Behemoth wouldn't lose the speed, but that trim brake is like now a part of it.
Never mind. Yukon loses its speed after the fourth element. The fourth element.
Yukon loses the speed after the first.
So Behemoth's got the drop, the big airtime hill, the turnaround, loses speed. Leviathan is the drop, the turn, the speed hill, and then loses its speed. So Alpen Fury is not going to lose its watch it.
Go Valley, the first test run. Okay, I want to ask you something. What you honestly think? It's Alpen Fury related. Are there going to be nets? Do you think?
Ooh!
Because that will also affect the way the ride looks.
Ooh, Wonderland might be mad about this. I'm going to say something that they might be mad about. I am hearing, go to the website right now. Okay, I'm hearing before we even found this. I've been hearing that there are going to be lockers, and all the major rides at Wonderland are going to have lockers for the 2025 season. I have not seen evidence of that on the drone yet. So I like to be as transparent as possible. I have heard that. I am not seeing evidence of that. But they now have a 2025 locker add-on for season passes.
They do. Josh was just... Yeah. It's $150.
It's a lot of money.
It's more than the dining plan.
Yeah. So there is a little bit of evidence there. But again, we like to evaluate things a little more in depth before jumping to too many conclusions. I would love lockers to be coming to Wonderland because Alpen Fury, when you guys see tomorrow's update, you're going to see why they need lockers, because the amount of nets this ride is going to need everywhere. It's just going to be like you're walking in, like you're going to think there's like pterodactyls flying above. And that's why there's nets or something. Because the whole pathway is just going to have to be nets, and then they're going to have to net rides. Like this thing, you guys have no idea how close it gets to Vortex. And then you have no idea.
Even Guardian.
The animation. No, I'm going to fangirl for a second.
Oh my God.
You gotta hold my hand. No, I'm kidding. This thing is so close to the ground. It is insane. The animation didn't do it justice. How it swoops underneath itself. You literally are like track here and then you're here. Like, I'm scared I'm not going to be allowed to ride based on height, not size.
Put your hand out, touch the concrete.
It's going to be so good. And then, like, honestly, like, everyone at Wonderland, like, and I'm sure everyone who's a content creator for Wonderland or who got to go to Media Day can vouch for this. Everyone at Wonderland has been so excited about this project, like, really excited about it. And I'm starting to see why. Like, I don't think... So Wonderland is supposed to have a construction tour already. So that's been a little bit delayed. And I think they're waiting to show us something inside the mountain, because I think that, like, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that, one, the fire effect and theming is going to be, like, better than what we've been teased. But I can just tell, like, in Wonderland, when they did Yukon Striker, they were excited, but they weren't, like, excited. Like, everyone genuinely looks really excited about this project. So I'm excited.
I can tell.
The more I see it take shape, when you guys see tomorrow's update, the shaping already looks great. The animation did not do it justice. Like, it looks great. I'm excited to see the whole thing complete.
It does, and it looks like it's going to go fast through those elements.
Oh, yeah. That first, like, double inverted top hat, like, that's going to feel so weird.
I believe that's also going to be the tallest inverted top hat in the world. At 163 feet.
Oh, tallest double inverted? Or just tallest inverted top hat?
Tallest inverted. Is it double inverted?
It's double inverted. Some people would argue that it's not double inverted, but it's double inverted.
What does double inverted mean?
It does two inversions.
What?
If you guys could see his face,
I
he's
can't.
looking at me like I'm an idiot. He's looking at me like I'm an idiot. Is it not called the double inverted top hat?
I don't,
Is it called the double inverted top hat, or did I invent that?
I think you just made that up.
I just make that
I'm
up, or
not
is that what it's called? I swear that's what it's called. Jake is on, like, I'll make a construction update, and Jake is like, it's called this, Brendan.
No, I'm not. You can call it whatever you want. I've just never heard that before. It is called that. Okay. I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
I don't know if it showed it, but he was literally looking at me like, are you okay, Brendan?
That's my bad. I didn't know. You're right. Brendan was right.
Period. I don't get a lot of things right when it comes to names of elements.
Double inverted top hat. I'm not calling it that.
When I refer to the ride, I literally refer to it as the double inverted top hat. The area
Fire
after.
Serpent Roll. Is that the actual name?
What is? Oh, that's the first element.
Is that the?
And then the extreme Skyflyer element is called like the Skyflyer loop or something. Yeah.
That's the part of the ride I'm the most looking forward to. What were we even talking about?
Are they gonna have theming in the queue line?
After what I've just seen the last 10 days, no, they're not.
They're gonna have one barrel.
Yeah, and they're gonna be like, look, it's universal quality theming.
Do you remember when Wonderland teased that Guardian was going to be Universal and Disney
I
level?
I walked around. That's all I thought about the last 10 days walking around is like what we've been lied
to. Oh, man.
Anyways, just to quickly sum it up. So, do you or do you not think there will be netting?
TSA? No, TSSA?
TSSA.
They're strict.
They're very strict.
Very strict.
And I want to point out, I think Caden said, well, Fury goes over the main walkway and it doesn't have netting. You're right, but they also have different rules and regulations. Mm-hmm. Whereas when Wonderland opened that path up, they had to install those nets.
And they're already not going to have seatbelts and over-the-shoulder restraints on an inverting ride. That's going to be crazy. Do you remember when do you remember this? Did you ever hear about the story about when they first opened Behemoth and TSSA was really nervous about the restraint and no seatbelts? That's what I'm like. Ooh, are they about to? But then again, TSSA recently they've started letting. We won't talk about that on the podcast. There was something they recently changed their opinion on this season that just passed that was shocking to everyone. So maybe they're getting more relaxed.
Or more educated in the industry.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I just want to point out some manufacturers like B&M and I guess even now Premier, the double safety is built within the restraint itself. So the seatbelt as a redundancy is unnecessary because there's already a redundancy built in.
Yeah.
And that's all a seatbelt is for, is just a redundancy.
That's true, exactly. It's all for show. Yeah, essentially. You think a seatbelt's really going to hold you in on Leviathan?
Yeah, if that restraint opens at that speed, absolutely not.
That's pretty much it. The last topic was Wonderland's expansion and future. We were just going to...
What about Minebuster?
Oh, what are your thoughts on Mine? They've all heard There's an update on Minebuster coming too. Who's calling me at 9 p.m.?
Minebuster, okay, first off, I want to say it's about time that we retrack at least 1,000 feet of that ride. Because I don't know, like it was getting bad. The jackhammering, like I get some people are like, oh, well, it adds character. No, it doesn't add character. It doesn't add anything. It adds back pains.
That's true.
Like it was running so rough. And last year when they retracked the double down going into the Helix, that was like a breath of fresh air. It was like 200 feet of smoothness, but then it's like back to, whatever. And to do over 1,000 feet, that's like something Kings Island or Holiday World would do, which on its own is incredible and expensive. But then to get a company like Gravity Group, like an actual manufacturer to come in and do it, not saying that Wonderland doesn't do a good job in-house, but to get like a professional manufacturer who built, their business off of this to come in and do it, it's going to be done. I don't want to say properly, but it's going to be done to like, it's going to, it's going to last. Like, it's going to stay smooth probably for 10, 15 years. It's not going to be like, oh, in 2 seasons it needs to be redone. No, because they went down straight, to the footing essentially and rebuilt all the bents. They rebuilt the rails. They rebuilt everything. So it's going to be essentially like there's 1,000 feet of brand new ride.
Their intent is to keep it, obviously.
Oh, 100%.
Now, what ride? Oh, I'm giving the answer here. It's like I'm gaslighting you into the conversation. Wild Beast. It's received next to no love over the last couple of seasons. If anyone's been paying attention, it's been very
dry.
Yeah. Like maybe like 100 feet here and there, like at max. So, what do you think they could do with Wild Beast? Obviously, their intent isn't to invest too much in it. It needs it. I don't care what anyone says. It needs it.
Honestly, if I could have anything done to it, and if they were going to do something, they would do what King's Dominion did, right, with Grizzly. I think they should just bulldoze it, and again with the tariffs, I don't know if RMC is very viable, but they could do so much stuff there. They could even put like a mock there. They could do anything there. They could get Gravity Group to build them a ground up, right? Because now Gravity Group, they use different types of rails. They have that new prefabricated hardwood. They have the engineered wood. They don't even need metal bents. Bents are the support structures. They can use steel lattice. There's so much that a company like Gravity Group has done and proven on, and it would be relatively cheap too for what you can get.
Yeah.
So I think that would be the way to go.
I definitely think the park wants an RMC there. For I don't know, something about me, just like they want an RMC there, and like what you said, they would bulldoze Wild Beast. They wouldn't do
Speed City too.
Yeah.
Oh, they could do that. That'd be such a good layout. Be better than Gwazi.
And then they technically have like that little river area too. They have a lot of land to play with back there. So that's my prediction, but who knows what these tariffs will do in terms of thing. And the other topic of discussion about Wonderland is they changed their mind. Like, I know Wonderland will sit there in an interview and say, oh, everything's planned years in advance, blah, blah, blah. That's your PR marketing. Like, that's what they're programmed to say. But anyone who pays attention, and that's not an insult. Like, any one of us in that job would have to say that, right? That's just corporate. But anyone with an eye and some knowledge can tell that there's been some changes going along the way of especially Project Alpen Fury. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to make sure I don't say anything like bad. That there were some last minute changes. For example, in our interview, I don't even think they realized it, but they openly admitted to not having the launch designed for Alpen Fury while the ride was designed, but they didn't have the theming design. They didn't have how it was gonna exit the mountain done. Like, they didn't have that whipped up yet. They just knew it was going to exit there, but they didn't know how they were going to redesign the mountain. They were still waiting on those renderings to come back. So that, like, again, it's crazy that a park like Wonderland is receiving all these changes. And if you really pay attention, obviously you guys can't see footage or pictures of what's going on outside of Alpen Fury. But for Patreons, there are, like, they can vouch for this in the chat. You guys are going to be blown away when you step foot into Medieval Fair next year. The amount of money that is going into Medieval Fair while we're getting Alpen Fury. And then on the other side of the park, you have Minebuster getting its renovation. And then you have a ride in World Expo that's going to get removed. And then
a new chain for Leviathan.
A new chain for Leviathan. But Medfair, like, you have upgrades to Spinnovator. You have King's Feast getting a renovation.
They just did Pirate Show Rage.
Rage just got did. There's signs that Nightmares might potentially be getting an electric motor installed too because it's a Winterfest ride.
Useful, yeah.
They're upgrading a lot of the theming, the wood theming stuff in Medfair. I'm explaining what's going on, but obviously, Patreons have access to those videos and pictures. But Spinnovator, I'm really excited about, because if they're going to do what was originally supposed to be done to Spinnovator, it's going to be the best looking ride in the park. Mark my word. If they have a windmill in the center. Be cool.
That is going to be cool.
Oh, if that ride has those original baskets with the wire and the windmill in the middle.
Didn't Wonderland I don't know if it was this year or last year, but I remember, didn't they release a lot of their original renderings and designs for the park, like on their Facebook and stuff? And it's kind of what they wanted to get back to.
And the park has been very open in saying that they wanted to go back to their roots. Now, they failed with Marketplace. What's it called now? Grand World Eatery.
Good Oswald Hall.
Grand World Eatery. So, right? Isn't that what it's called?
Oh, Backlot Cafe?
Backlot Cafe.
Yeah.
Horrible renovation, in my opinion. Horrible. Like, you should have just made it the Japanese restaurant that it used to be.
Gardens?
Yeah, Ginza Gardens.
But that had a river going through it. Like, that was so beautiful. Like, on the outside.
Like, and then, yeah. But I think basically what's happening now, if you're really paying attention, let's get into it. Let's talk about this for like 5 minutes. So, Med Fair, they've obviously made up their mind. They're pouring money into Medieval Fair, right? Alpenfest is going to be a new themed area. Frontier Canada isn't fully done, but it's developed. It looks good. The water park, if you've been paying attention, is transitioning into a Canadian-themed water park.
They even said next year they're a major water investment.
Yeah.
They openly admitted it.
And at an ACE event, to quote, this isn't credit to me, this is credit to the ACE event, Peter said that the water park was the beginning of a multi-year expansion. So we already know 2026 is most likely going to be water park related.
Side-eye.
But if you've noticed, there's a very specific area of the park that is just starting to show signs of a direction, right? So what's it called again? World Expo. World Expo. Kingswood. World Expo and Kingswood. So those two areas of the park, you have a ride. We can't talk about which ride it is, by the way. The park's asked us to shut up. There's a ride that is going to get removed this year. There is. It will not open. Everyone knows that by now, anywhere, but we can't talk about it. We're literally shut up. And it's right next to it's right next to somewhere else in the park. But so Kingswood is a very important plot of land.
Very big plot of land.
A very big plot of land. And you look at Cedar Fair's, Six Flags' other big parks, and they all have resorts, right? I know everyone's going to hate me now. They're going to groan. Brendan, you've been saying resort.
Can we go back to 2014? The hotel?
There's proof of that. Okay, so guys, to this day, Surya thinks I made up the hotel.
I don't think it was well, maybe a little bit.
There was a document.
Where's the hotel?
It didn't happen.
I know it didn't happen.
I can find you the community meeting where people were arguing that the people in the hotel could see into their backyards. He genuinely thinks this is all in my head. And I feel gaslit because
I feel gaslit in believing there is a hotel.
Oh my God.
I actually have to tell you something after the stream.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's it about? The hotel?
Actually.
You found something?
No, but you might know it too. I'll tell.
I was right?
I don't know, but I'm always until I see an open sign or a place where I can make a reservation, I'm going to be in denial. And you better believe I'll be the first one to check into that place.
Well, I was just told that there's going to be a hotel on the eastern southern side of the park.
Of the border?
Oh, you mean I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Are you talking about what I found yesterday?
No.
Oh.
Anyway.
Casino?
No.
Oh. Okay. Okay, everyone can hate me for saying resort. It is going to happen. A resort is coming, a hotel or resort is coming to Wonderland. What major theme park doesn't have a hotel or a resort? Great Adventure's got a freaking resort where you can sleep with elephants or whatever.
Yeah, and you can look at the empty space where King Dakar used to be.
I am so curious to see that video of it coming down.
There's a video of them putting explosives on the tower.
I know today.
Yeah. Could you imagine having that as your home park and then just losing half your park in 6 weeks?
The ride that's about to get bulldozed at Wonderland, I hope goes explodes. Can you imagine? The neighborhood gets chunks of metal. Oh my. 9 rides are getting removed from Great Adventure. How do you feel about that?
Whatever they get in 2026 better be the fastest in the world. That's all I can say. It's probably going to be something stupid, but you know, it is what it is.
I laugh about Great Adventure and I joke about how crummy of a park it is, especially now with the ride removals. But anyone who watched my video, I made a video when they started announcing this. Great Adventure is going to be the most invested in, mark my word, this is a prediction, this isn't something I know. Great Adventure, I think you would probably agree with it, is going to be the most invested park in the chain.
Well, what did El Toro Ryan say in some of his videos? In like the 90s, early 90s, Great Adventure was pulling 4 million people in a year.
Yeah.
Look, New York City is 2 hours away. Philadelphia is an hour and a half away. You have like all of New Jersey. It's just in the middle of like, you know, within probably 100-kilometer radius of Great Adventure, you have over 10 million people, which is absolutely crazy to think about. Like that park should be like a Disney Universal at this point.
Yeah, it'll be, and it's gonna be good. It's gonna take them like, you know, it's gonna be like a Wonderland where it takes them like 10 years to get to where they need to be. Because if you look back when Frontier Canada came to life to now, it's taking time, but it's happening.
Well, I remember, I think Wonderland said the single biggest population, like attendance jump that they've ever experienced was when they added Behemoth. I think, what was it, Behemoth? Or
It was, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Behemoth, then Leviathan, then Yukon, probably.
Yeah, I know we want Alpen Fury. What?
You know, Alpen Fury, if they market this ride well.
Fastest, tallest, longest launch coaster.
Have you heard the advertisements already? Not done by Wonderland, done by media, how wrong they are? Fastest or tallest in the world or whatever? Yeah. I'm like, ugh.
What were we talking about? Hotel.
Oh, I thought this was something about mic problem. How are the mics today? Do you guys prefer that we just use these ones?
The Leviathan one's better.
Yeah, I gave him a Leviathan color one.
Mike's good.
I guess we can transition to a question Q&A period.
Yeah.
You guys ask us questions. The mics are nice. Mics sound great. Perfect. These ones are good.
You want to just go straight into the Q&A now?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Yeah,
talking. Yeah. We'll shoot the shoot. What do you call those? Shoot the shoot.
Oh, I want to say something else. Six Flags Over Georgia, their Extreme Splash, it was ready to or I don't know, they didn't open it. It was supposed to open in 2024. It was like all ready to go, and now they're retheming it in 2025.
Oh yeah,
that's so weird.
It's such a Canada's Wonderland theme too. When I saw it, I was like, "Hello, was that our 2026 ride?" Mary, that's a gift that Caden gave me on my birthday. I think birthday or Christmas. It's very nice.
Birthday. What? Okay, what's your favorite ride, Brendan?
Favorite ride in the world?
Oh, somebody just asked what's your favorite ride? What's your favorite ride at Wonderland?
At Wonderland?
Yeah. What's your favorite ride at Wonderland, Brendan? What's your favorite ride at Wonderland?
I know everyone thinks it's Yukon.
Yeah, but what is it actually?
It's Leviathan.
Yeah, there we go.
You just exposed me in front of my audience. What's your favorite ride, Sarah?
At Wonderland?
Yeah.
It's Leviathan.
Oh, it's not Yukon?
No, ew. Forceless.
I think there's videos out there that show you admiring Yukon, though. Apparently, according to Mr. Excellent, the mountain tour is back up.
What's the mountain tour?
Where you get a tour. They're offering tours of the mountain starting May 16th, 2025. This is just in by Mr. Excellent in our
like
Discord.
The Sunrise tour?
Yeah. And that does make sense that you wouldn't want to tour the mountain until your attraction's open. So it looks like Wonderland might be intending to open Alpen Fury by May 16th.
That'll be exciting. Somebody asked, do you want to read them off your phone?
Oh, yes. You can have your phone too, by the way.
I'm like
it helps a lot. So tariffs obviously will affect current rides with spare parts and that if they come from the U.S. as well, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Everyone's a closeted Yukon lover. Yeah, Surya loves Yukon. Trust me.
It's okay.
Ask me how many times I rode Yukon last year.
How many times did you ride Yukon last year?
0.
Are you being serious?
0, not one ride. Not one ride, right? Or did I ride once with Jasmine?
How do you do that? Isn't that kind of depressing? Not right.
I was so focused on Alpen Fury.
No, you're so focused on the Prestige Lounge.
That's literally my office. Was Alpen Fury last minute? The concept of a ride launching out of the mountain was not last minute, but I think Alpen Fury, the ride we see, was very last minute. Extreme Skyflyer being removed was last minute, I'll tell you that much.
Hey, Brendan, do you think Alpen Fury will be done on time? It's crazy to think Siren's Curse has more progress than Wonderland.
So just wait for tomorrow's update. Siren's Curse does not have more progress than Alpen Fury. Don't just wait. You guys are okay. I'll explain this because a lot of people have been attacking me in the comments section. You post on Patreon, you're doing it to make money, blah blah blah. Any one of my friends, anyone else who makes content on Wonderland has taken a stance of controlling content creators a lot more now. I'm only allowed to upload once to twice a week max on construction updates. It can only be about Alpen Fury and Mindbuster. I'm not allowed to show you guys or talk about the ride removal. I'm not allowed to show you other updates in the park unless the park specifically grants me permission to show you those updates, which they will not do until they make an announcement themselves about those updates. Basically what I do behind a fourth wall, a paywall, it can't be governed by the park. And I'm allowed to post on Patreon whatever I want from the drone and fly and post how often I want behind Patreon. Because it is behind a paywall, and unless I'm posting official documents, so for example, I can't post blueprints anymore, even on Patreon, or official documents from the park that haven't been announced. So those are the only rules. Those are rules. I'm not making that up. If you want, I'll be super transparent. Yes, there are a lot of Patreons now, like I think around 250. But for example, if anyone who has watched me from the beginning, I always reinvest my money from the channel back into the channel. The drone that I just got, if you look up the price of a Matrice 4E, like I just bought a used car. So to be super transparent, about a year's worth of Patreon just went to this drone. So for anyone that's attacking me online for the paywall and I'm just doing it to earn money, I am literally the one content creator that has constantly upgraded his drone over the last 7 years. I think I've bought 4 or 5 drones now, and upgraded mic equipment, camera equipment, phones, the gas and time to go to Wonderland every single day to film. It's a lot of work. And if I upload content on a paywall because I'm allowed to, I'm going to continue to do it. And I'm glad you guys support it. There are a lot of people who view Patreon now, so that obviously it's worth it. And yeah, I wish I could upload on YouTube. If the minute the park lets me upload on YouTube again, I would immediately switch back to YouTube. I swear on everything I would. I make a lot more from a YouTube video than I do a Patreon sub. So yeah, for those saying I benefit from this, I don't.
It's kind of frustrating.
It is frustrating. To be honest, it's frustrating. And the park's not sitting there being like, the park knows it's frustrating too. Like they've been great through this whole learning adjustment to new rules from Six Flags and all that. They very well could have been like, oh, we're not going to work with you. Like you can't do this, you can't do that. If you don't want to do it, bye. But they've been very, very, very good to work with, to be honest, considering it's outside of their ability to. Mm-hmm. Like these are rules they have to follow. On that topic, with Patreon, this is something I've talked about with Surya for a while, the Coaster Club.
Yes.
Yeah. So the goal with Patreon is to turn it into a Coaster Club. And we do have 2 events that we will be hosting this year, one at Santa's Village and one for exclusive ride time on Alpen Fury. We're waiting on some final documents to be sent to us from Wonderland, and then just waiting on a final confirmation from Santa's Village, and then I'll have a pricing package and what we can do posted on Patreon. So when the time does come, Patreon will transition to a coaster club. So there'll be a free membership or a $1 membership that, because I need your information, that you'll just subscribe to Patreon, and then you'll be able to attend those events for even just like the $1. But then you'll have to obviously pay the cost to go, because anyone who has ever hosted an event or has heard about hosting events at parks, they are very expensive to rent out a section of the park. But yeah, so that is coming. So if you want exclusive ride time on Alpen Fury, we are just waiting on some final documents. Obviously, the park's waiting on some stuff too. And once we get confirmation of pricing and timing, we will post our itinerary.
And that is very exciting, because that would be like the start to actually something like crazy, right? Depending on how it takes off. Like, you know, this year maybe one event, but next year, like, if you could do 2-3 events and just keep building up from that, like, that'd be really exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's great. Like,
and it would be something fresh too in the community, right? Like, there's a lot of younger people just joining this hobby, and you know, not saying that whatever current, you know, events and stuff are happening are bad, because they're not, but it would give more opportunity and more options for people, and maybe if we could price it differently too, more people could attend, and yeah, I think it would be more fun, and it would be a good way to get more people involved with
exactly,
you know, with the community.
Yeah, so we're just working on that. That is a part of our plan, so stay tuned for that, because I'm pretty motivated this year. Sari and I have like had a lot of meetings.
Yeah.
Not meetings, but like discussions, and like we're going into this season full gear ahead on content and working together.
And I think it's gonna be a good thing, because, and one, it's more fun. It's more fun, you know, when we can all just come together and do this together, and two, it's like, you know, it's for the best. I think it's going to help create really good quality content, and it's going to create awesome things like this event and other opportunities. And I'm going to try and get some Leviathan in there too. What? Who said that? Oh yeah, there'll be Leviathan, don't worry.
Just catching up on chat.
Jaden asked, is Wonderland still working with the design company who did Universal?
Yeah, they are. But the design company isn't doing this ride. From what I can tell, they did our front gate.
Oh.
Yeah, I haven't seen them on site at all. I'm assuming, again, speculation, if we're getting a hotel in Kingswood's plot of land, that company would be in charge of that. But yeah, I haven't seen that. You know what company I'm talking about. Yeah. They're not here. I haven't seen one of their vehicles at all since front gate's been done.
You know why they're not here? Because they're all at Epic Universe.
That's true. Triple J Contracting is the ones doing our renovation of Mindbuster. So if you want to look them up, go on Instagram. I posted on the story yesterday.
Yeah, they post a lot of like cool pictures and stuff. And even the demolition company.
Yeah, they did our snow removal for Wonderland. So it was so funny. I never put two and two together, because they've been parked in our parking lot for quite some time now.
Oh, that's true.
But now with the new drone, I'm able to see every single car and their company logo in the park. And I saw Triple J, and I was like, oh. So then I Instagrammed them, and I was like, they have photos of them doing Mindbuster, because they do a lot of things. But yeah,
that's a cool contract. Mary asked if I'm going to be working at the park again this year, and yes, I am, because being a ride operator is actually a lot of fun.
It's been like therapeutic for you.
You
love it.
It has been therapeutic.
Yeah.
And you get to, like, I don't know, it's just fun. It's fun to operate. It's like, I think if you have the opportunity to, and of course you're passionate about it in a certain sense, you should take a year. Like, if you have the ability to, you should take a season and work at Wonderland or your local theme park. And even El Toro Ryan operated that, or recommended. Do you know El Toro Ryan, to my knowledge, is the only person in the world who both operated Top Thrill Dragster and King Ka?
He did?
He operated Top Thrill Dragster and operated King Ka.
How did I not know that? Jake's going to kill me for saying
that. That, to me, just blows my mind. Like, that is so cool.
He is literally one... Okay, so I could fangirl over El Toro Ryan forever, because he's the nicest guy in the world. Still to date, everything.
So down to earth.
So down to earth. He makes the best content. The fact that this guy has a family, a real like high end salary, like, you know, career university driven job, and makes the most in-depth, well put together videos is insanity to me, because I'm over here working like a full-time salary job and crumbling, having to balance both, and I don't have a family. And I'm sitting like, sometimes I just got to take a step back and be like, well, okay, like if he could do it, then maybe I could do it too. I'll never be able to do it as good as him, because my God, his editing ability and just his knowledge is insane. That's what you should be for Canada.
No, I'm getting there. It's a progress.
Sometimes, like I literally just want to hear what you have to say about something. You have to upload your video of your first day at Universal.
I did. I tried to film a vlog, and there's a lot of footage, but it's not easy. I don't know how you do it. It's not easy.
It's hard until you get into a routine. If I have to sit here and show you how to edit that video one day, I will.
Oh, I might take you up on that. I did. I went back and looked at it's like a 3-minute clip of when I got off of VelociCoaster, and the whole time I'm like,
yeah, I want to see that.
Like, that was like, oh my God.
I want to see that. I just hiccuped.
Brendan, I thought you had a daughter.
Oh, that's Jake. Yeah, Jake's my daughter. How long have you been streaming in your career? How long?
So we're just looking at the
Brendan, I thought you had the daughter. Oh, what ride do you?
What ride do I work at? I don't.
He doesn't know that yet.
Yeah, you have to come to the park and go find me.
I'm so excited for this season. This has been, guys, has this off season been the hardest? It has for me.
Yeah, even in Winterfest times, Winterfest kind of.
This seasonal depression is hit hard this year.
That's why I ran away.
When I'm at work, I'm exhausted and tired. But then when I'm not at work, I'm bored out of my mind and wish I was at work because there's nothing to do.
Yep. And I don't know, like, you know, okay, I know this is probably actually what winter is supposed to be like, but this winter has sucked. Like, it's been cold, and now, like, there's 2 feet of snow outside. We're getting another 1.5 feet of snow. Like, where are we going to put it all? I have no idea.
Yeah. And so, like, when I do launch the Patreon, I am going to add a free level, by the way. And my goal with that is to get everyone, as most of you guys, into Patreon as possible. The free level, you'll never be, there's no hidden charges, I can promise you. Because the goal eventually with the Coaster Club is to host events in the off season.
That would be really cool. Like maybe like Nabs or Niagara Falls, stuff like that.
Exactly. Anything. There's like indoor water parks. Mm-hmm. I have like a really good relationship forming with like a new theme park company in Canada. So like with their vision, so being off doing a winter chill out at a smaller park or like another park.
Cool,
yeah. Would be really cool too. Just doing like those smaller events would be cool in the off season. So again, this year I'm more motivated than ever to like really commit to this channel, and I know Surrey is too.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's like it's excited. We've actually sat down. There's a plan. There's emails sent. There's discussions happening. There's pricing forming. There's no going back now.
No, and you know what, like. I don't know. It's just, it's fun. Like to actually, like I don't know. It was like running around with your head, like a chicken with their head cut off. But now, when you actually properly plan things and you figure out what you want to do and you know what you want to do, it's fun. It makes it like something to look forward to, something to grow and build in. And I think that's really important, especially on the off season. Which, you know what? It's already mid-February, so you know once March rolls around, then it's. Hopefully it gets better. Hopefully it starts warming up soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
I have to be honest though. Next year, this time, Brendan, I think every winter
I'm going to Universal Studios. Next time I'm coming.
Yeah. What did you say? Why couldn't I wait? Why couldn't I go a few weeks?
Why couldn't you have a mental breakdown earlier? I had 2 weeks off work, and you decided to be independent.
I was very independent. I was very good. And then, you know what? I lost my marbles, and I'm like, I'm going to go to Universal. I called Brendan on the phone. I'm crying. I'm like, Brendan, I'm going to Universal. And he's like, wait, what? And I'm like, I have my backpack. I'm driving to Florida.
Didn't I tell you to go?
You did.
I was like, if you, because you were going to go 2 weeks from now.
Yep.
Or a week from now. Yeah.
At the end of February.
Yeah, and I was like, you got the money? You're like, yeah. I'm like, go. Chase your dreams.
And I did.
I'm saying it with like, chase your dreams.
And then 4 days later, he's messaging me, you got to get back here. When are you coming back? He's like, sir, you can't just live there.
Yeah, it was supposed to be 4, and then it switched to 5, and then you were there for like
9 days in total. I was there for 9 days. I didn't want to come back.
You rode everything I wanted to ride.
It was so good. You know what's so nice? Right when you walk in to Islands of Adventure, that theme song is so nice.
You boomer? What does that say?
Who called me a boomer? Syria.
You drove? Yeah, he drove.
I drove. I went straight. Okay, the way home sucked, but going down, I went 21 hours straight. Okay, this is a funny story. Oh, wait, this is a funny story. So I did do the drive straight without any sleep, but I stopped at Carowinds, and I was like, I was on the phone with Brendan. I'm like, Brendan, I'm at Carowinds. This place is incredible. Blah blah blah. They're taking down Nighthawk, and they're Snoopy. They're getting Snoopy's Racing Railway. Their track was all in the parking lot, and I was just watching them move dirt around. And I was like mesmerized, like Fury this, and I was on the phone with Brendan for like 45 minutes. I was probably there for almost an hour, and Brendan's like, Syria, get back in the car and just go to Universal.
I'm like, you have a hotel, you have tickets in it, or a season pass
I
now
season pass
to Universal Studios. What are you doing staring at a stupid theme park that is open only like 8 months out of the year?
Yeah.
Get your butt in your car and go to Universal. I remember I got so mad.
Yeah, he's like,
I was
what are you
get
doing?
in the car.
Get in the car and go to Universal. I did with 21 hours. Yeah, 21 hours. I did ride Iron Gwazi, and I was very disappointed with that.
Really? That's
yeah,
crazy.
Iron Gwazi I thought was very overrated. It has fast pacing. You know, it's an RMC, so it has some of those elements, but compared to Steel Vengeance, it was. I would take Twisted Timbers over Iron Gwazi.
Ew.
No, I'm seriously. And Iron Gwazi, you come in so fast on the brake run. I swear to Alpen Fury, you better not I want all that speed utilized in really good elements, not just waste 50. Like you come into the brake run probably at like 80 kilometers an hour. That's unacceptable. Unacceptable. Wildcats Revenge is better. Brendan, what parks have you been to?
I can't even remember.
You've been to
Universal, Disney, Busch Gardens Tampa, Busch Gardens Williamsburg, Fantasy Fair. Let's count that.
It counts. It counts.
La Ronde, Great Adventure, Hershey Park, Cedar Point, Kings Island, Kings Dominion. I think that's it.
Great Adventure.
Great Adventure, I said that.
Santa's Village.
Santa's Village. I think that's it. I feel like I'm missing one. Fun Spot.
Nebs. I don't know if that counts.
Nebs. I mean, hey, Nebs is fun, to be honest.
Yeah, it's something to do.
In the off season.
The off season is fun for twice a year.
Our chairs are crying.
Callaway, that's in Calgary, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. I haven't been there, no.
Make up lore. What is lore? I don't know what that is.
Yes, I did count Fantasy Fair. I feel
we
like
had a good time there.
You had a good time.
He didn't ride anything.
That place is
Ghetto.
that place is a weird fever dream for me.
Guys.
Like, to explain it quick, like, that place gives me weird things because I've had weird dreams about that place and the slides up above that used to come down, and to put in it, like, my dad used to take me there every year on business trips, and I don't know, I just get the weirdest, like, ghost sightings in there and the weirdest energy in there. It creeps me out. Oh, it creeps me out.
And there's only like 2 people that
didn't we go into the behind the scenes area?
Yeah, but it was just open. Anyone could have walked in there.
We literally just started it, and I was like, ooh, this looks like Five Nights at Freddy.
Lore is a story. Okay, Brendan, explain the Alpen Fury storyline.
The Alpen Fury
Because I
storyline that we know of right now.
I don't know what it is.
Okay, so I'll explain. The Alpen Fury storyline that we know right now is it's fire and ice, okay, battling each other to create a launch, but you're also in some sort of fairground.
And there's village people.
There's village
people.
A mountain with fire and ice in it, and then you're on a toboggan. That's what we know. What do I think is going to happen? What do I hope is going to happen? Well, okay, it's a ski lodge that they're building, for sure. It's a chalet.
Cool. It's a chalet?
And it's going to be a toboggan. And what I'm hoping they kind of go for that makes the most logical sense is that you go into the mountain on your sled and you find the force of fire and ice that then gives you magic and you.
Herman? You think the dragon's in there?
I don't know if they're going to use that storyline again. What I'm really curious about is how they're going to mix a chalet with what they used in the teaser posters of like the tents and you're at a festival, because a chalet doesn't really blend in that well with like tent festival of like
So do you think that whole area then could be getting like that remodel? Like
it's supposed to be. Like I know Thunder Run was supposed to be getting a remodeling too, but that wasn't it like they at an Ace event they said Thunder Run was going to get an upgrade to all of its thing, and then it never happened.
Well, they say a lot of things at these events that don't happen.
So I'm hoping that it just got pushed into with this, but we're already like our budget. Where's our budget? Like again, like if you're a Patreon, you know what I'm talking about right now, but Spinnovator alone, it's gutted, guys. To describe verbally what Spinnovator looks like right now, a giant hole in the ground.
Yeah.
A giant hole in the ground.
Literally, like a big It's deep,
all the parts are gone. The barrel's gone. Like, the basket's gone.
Yep.
Like...
And even doing, like, Leviathan's chain, like, that stuff's not cheap.
No.
You know, in Mindbuster's retrack, that's not cheap.
They get that one thing they have to get from B&M sent over.
Feeder, yeah. The retrack isn't cheap, and just like any other general park improvements, like that's a lot.
Now, when are they going to get rid of Shockwave and Drop Tower and Riptide? Because those three rides do not belong in Medfair in their current state. Like, when are they going to
work? I think Shockwave is actually kind of reliable, but Riptide and Drop Tower is just...
Yeah, it seems they pick one ride in Medfair now every season to, like... Basically,
it would be cool if they got rid of like our Drop Tower for a newer generation Drop Tower.
Yeah,
like make it a bit taller. Obviously, not as tall as the
Falcon's Flight. Oh,
Falcon's
Isn't
Fury.
it? It's always down. Falcon's Fury.
I was making that mistake all week. It is always down.
Yeah, so I don't know.
But dropping face down, that's like
that's insanity.
But you know what? You know what the sad thing is? Other than like the shot towers, I don't think there is an Intamin drop tower that's actually reliable. I don't understand. It's a pretty simple concept if you think about it. You just take it up and drop it.
Who's getting rid of theirs this year? Carowinds.
Carowinds
oh my
got
God.
rid of theirs this year.
They lost 3 rides? Yeah. The
Hurler is staying.
Yeah, but didn't they lose Drop Tower? Guys, what ride? Isn't they losing their Enterprise?
Oh, yeah.
I think it's their Enterprise. I could be wrong.
That was like, I think that's the last part that
something Weaver. Scream Weaver.
God, rip to care. Well, it's okay. All you need there is Fury anyways. That makes up the whole thing.
And then we're literally getting rid of something, but they haven't even started.
That's going to cost money too.
Yeah. Oh, man.
What is King's Dominion getting rid of? Okay, let's go down to... Let's see what all the parks are getting rid of.
King's Dominion's closing.
They
got rid of their Winterfest event. Yes. Okay, I love when parks I hate have misfortunes.
King's Dominion is a great park. Okay, it's better than Wonderland. I said it.
It is not better than Wonderland.
Their ride lineup is better than
Wonderland.
Their ride lineup.
They have like a little kiddie wing coaster.
They have Intimidator 305.
That's not open. Wait, it got a new paint job though.
Yeah, what Panther? What's it called now?
Pantherion?
No, they're always going to be Intimidator. I don't know how they didn't get sued over that.
When it was called Intimidator?
No, Pantherion.
Why? What's that named after?
It's like a panther, but Pantheon at Busch Gardens Williamsburg and Pantherion.
Oh.
That's kind of they have that. They have a Flight of Fear. They have Dominator. They have Twisted
Dominator
Timber.
was fun. I remember riding that and liking that.
Yeah.
Twisted Timber sucked.
Twisted Timber's better than Iron Gauzy.
Sucked so bad. I remember it hurt more than Steel Vengeance.
Because that, you know why it hurt? Because it actually does something. It does something.
Intimidator was closed when I went. The line to get on their stupid S and S40 free spin was like 2 hours long for some reason.
This park is a very good park.
Did we even go on it? We didn't.
We didn't.
No, we didn't, because the line, it was like one side was open only, and it was like...
It's a beautiful park, guys.
It was it was a whole fairground over there when we went.
It's an S-tier park with S-tier attractions.
And then we rode their very bad version of Minebuster that duels, but they don't duel it.
Oh, they do, but it just wasn't busy. They don't get busy enough to duel it. I like Racer.
But it pulled no force. Like, Minebuster pulls forces compared to that. And now with that shit...
It's going to go faster.
Oh my god, those airtime hills? Period.
It's going to go faster. You said, okay, sir. Alpen has 2 trains. Womp womp.
Yeah, it should have 3, right, Jake?
It should have 3.
Maybe 4.
Oh, what do you think of, sir? What do I think of Surf Coaster? Honestly, the launch was very underwhelming. You actually have to work on that ride to get airtime, which blew my mind. Apparently, it's because I'm too big to get airtime.
Jake is like, you have to jump.
Yeah, like, what does that mean, you have to jump? What do you mean you have to jump? I don't want to jump. There's a trim break in a very unnecessary place. The ride is short. After the inversions, it doesn't do anything.
This sounds like Behemoth to me. A trim break in every possible place there could be one.
Yeah, okay, you know what? Let's talk about that. Why does Behemoth have 3 trims back to back to back? Like, that makes no sense.
We were talking about this on the phone yesterday. Why are there a trim, and a trim when one of those trims is never on, the middle one?
Middle trim, I don't care what anyone says. No one in this world, no one who's ridden Behemoth has ever been trimmed by that middle trim.
No.
Fight me on that.
And then the other side of the community that's like, the trim's hardly ever on. Like, am I that fat that the ride is obviously going faster that it needs to be trimmed?
It would trim during the morning PMs. Like, you would hear, they would send their morning test runs, empty train, and it would be cold out. It'd be like 10 degrees out, windy, and it's still trimming.
Go watch my drone footage of Behemoth testing for the first time in the season, and they trimmed
it's trimming. It's the ride. That's all it does is trim.
I'm sorry. What is the hype about Behemoth? What is it? Because I will say, and he has heard me say this, if the trims aren't on, it is the best ride in the park.
You know what? I don't know about the best ride in the park, but it does give the strongest airtime in the park
yes.
if the trims aren't on.
But outside of that...
When is the trim not on?
It's literally a rattly, trimmed...
That needs paint.
Mess. But Leviathan needs paint more.
Yeah. Behemoth has a basic layout.
Behemoth, the one thing I will say, Behemoth suits its fading color scheme a little more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're gaslighting themselves into thinking it's a good ride.
Do you know what ride's paint hasn't faded at all? Yukon's.
Yukon is already painted like garbage. Pine tree green supports like diarrhea brown trash.
Let me look at the chat. Are they triggered yet?
Yeah, basic layout. Mary's like, it is a basic layout. It literally just goes up and down. But okay, Diamondback has like the perfect layout for a B&M Hyper, right? You got the ups and downs, the curves, the helix, the splashdown. Great ride. Behemoth just goes up and it's like Intimidator. It doesn't do anything.
You have not had a trimless ride on Behemoth 2 days in a row.
Who says?
No, you know what? For all the people, this is my commitment.
Oh God, the chair.
This is my commitment.
The chair is screaming.
Anyone who says that it is trimless most of the time, I'm coming to ride with you. We are going to organize a meetup. We're going to ride. We're going to meet at the entrance to Behemoth. You have to have fast lane. And if you're going to tell me it's trimless, we're going to ride together. We're going to ride together. And I'm going to have a sound recording device to prove that little clamp went.
I promise you. Yep, they're. Yeah, you know what? They exist. Trimless rides on Behemoth exist, but no, they don't. Because you know why? If the first trim doesn't get you, the last trim will get you.
It's like what do you call it? Saw. Like,
yeah, it's like
you're
there's
waiting
always
for the
traps and
yeah.
stuff. It's like, you know, you think, oh, it's like, you know, in those old, like, it's like in the Zelda games or the Choose Your Own Adventure or Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, congratulations, you defeated the monster. Now you get to enjoy the rest of your ride. You get to the final part, and it's like that boss comes out of nowhere and it shoots you in the face with an arrow, and then your ride is done.
I'm making Behemoth sound like the worst ride ever. I don't actually think that, by the way, but
It's
I just
second best at Wonderland.
it is overhyped. There's like, yeah, it trims so much, in my opinion. Maybe I'm just so fat that I increased the speed like that much where it needs to be trimmed. Like, maybe that's it. Maybe when I start riding with these other people who claim they get trimless rides, they'll start to see.
This is offensive to Behemoth lovers. Behemoth is not a bad ride. It's a really good ride, especially at Wonderland. But I'm sorry, if you put it with the other B&M hyper coasters, it's on the lower end of the B&M hypers.
Mm-hmm.
I think I genuinely think it's the third worst B&M hyper.
What's the one at Busch Gardens Williamsburg?
Apollo's Chariot.
Way better than Behemoth.
Oh yeah, it destroys Behemoth.
Oh, so much better than Behemoth.
Great night ride, and you know why? Because it doesn't just go up and down; it does something down the nicer trains. Mako just slaps everything. Diamondback, I think Diamondback's great.
Diamondback and Behemoth are the same to me.
Diamondback and Behemoth, same to me. It's because somebody doesn't enjoy the splashdown.
It's like Leviathan. Like,
yeah, fantastic.
Leviathan is the best ride at Wonderland right now, but that doesn't say anything. You know what I mean?
What's that say to the other rides at Wonderland?
Until we get a mixture of
Apollo.
Jake, get over here right now. Drive over here right now.
What do you mean Apollo? This is the same. Puts Twisted Timbers over I-305.
Oh, you know what else he puts? Wait, Jake, where is your ranking? What's that kid's wooden coaster at Williamsburg?
Invader.
Jake, where is Invader on your ranking list for everyone in chat? Where is he? Is Behemoth in here, the user?
I don't approve of this podcast anymore. We're not hating on Behemoth. It's a great ride.
We're gaslighting them by saying we're not hating on Behemoth because we just spent 30 minutes hating on it.
Yeah, okay, we are hating on Behemoth. It's overrated. So is Yukon Striker.
Yes, I did not ride it once this year.
You rode Behemoth more than Yukon Striker.
I did ride Behemoth more than Yukon.
The shade on Behemoth. Behemoth is amazing. No, yeah, it's not amazing. It's true. It's for what it is. It's a good ride, but even the rattle is getting excessive.
If you could remove Leviathan and replace it with anything, what would you replace it with?
VelociCoaster.
If you could remove Behemoth and replace it with anything, what would you replace it with?
VelociCoaster. Let's keep playing this game.
Why was I not expecting that?
Fury's really good too, but it's not VelociCoaster.
Oh, man. Okay, if you had to choose between Fury or VelociCoaster.
VelociCoaster.
That says everything. For anyone who knows Surya, that just said everything
for
right
the last 10 years of my life. I was there on Fury's Media Day. I was in 2014. I got to see them load Fury's track on a flatbed at Claremont Steel and drive away to Carowinds. Fury has been my life. It's been my personality. My TikTok, Surya K325, is named Fury 325. I have to find something VelociCoaster related now. But 325 is Fury. I love Fury. Fury, like, I would go to battle for it, but I'm sorry. VelociCoaster just slaps it.
I'm married. To be honest, you're kind of right. How can Yukon Striker be overrated if everyone hates it?
Does everyone hate it, though? Are we all in agreement?
I would say 85. You know what's funny, though? No, because everyone hates it for no reason. Because if I catch people lacking, they be staring at Yukon like it's the most beautiful thing in the park.
Oh, my phone!
Your Samsung, can it handle that kind of a fall?
Oh, that's okay. It's just like Yukon Striker. Oh.
This is where the chair...
But Yukon Striker's not even the best dive coaster. It's not. Griffin is.
No, it's
Griffin
not.
Griffin is so much better than
Griffin is that 300-pound woman seen on the water side.
Yeah, I ain't no 300 pounds. I'm 165.
That's the 10-seater, right?
Yeah, and do you see how fast she goes down that? Griffin's the best. I will say Shikra.
Shikra is not
the
best.
best.
Shikra is literally rotting.
I sent Brendan a picture of the rail on Shikra because, of course, that was closed at Busch Gardens Tampa. Half Busch Gardens Tampa is closed, useless park, and the rail was corroded. And Brendan's like, "Oh my god!"
I didn't know that was possible.
Like it's like someone put acid on it. Like it's gone. Valraven, it's good.
Valorant shit.
Rattle Raven.
Yeah, literally, and I don't know. It's just
The 0G roll on Valraven.
Yukon is great. Like it's
oh
great.
yeah, it's great. That's so
No,
great. I
it
wrote it
is.
0 times in
Yes.
2024.
Do you know how many times I wrote it in 2019? I'm so bored of it.
Okay, that's when you had Fastlane.
I was also in my fat girl era this season where I was scared to try and get on any ride.
Yes, when you went to Prestige. How many times did you ride Leviathan this year? Last year?
4, 5, 6,
God.
under 10.
That was probably your most ridden ride, though.
Oh, it was, yeah, for sure.
That's heartbreaking. How many visits did you have at the park?
Actually, I think my most ridden ride at Wonderland was Whitewater Canyon.
You Could you imagine having a fully loaded Prestige pass and going to Wonderland almost every day to ride Whitewater Canyon? You need Fastlane to ride with me, but I'm only going to ride Leviathan under 10 times in one whole year.
My most ridden ride is Whitewater Canyon. Oh my god. And you know why? It's because of Jake. It's not even because of me. What?
Fury is roughly the same as Leviathan. Not enough difference to write home about it. What the? Oh, excuse me. Okay, it may not be a VelociCoaster, but I can assure you, Fury is like, forget the rest. Forget Leviathan, ride the best.
Oh my god. I'm having an existential crisis. I'm actually upset with myself.
Yeah, I would be too. I'm glad you realized this.
Jake's fired. Jake is fired. Oh my god.
Iron Menace is the best time. Iron Rattler.
Oh.
Opinion on 2026 new ride. A new water coaster. Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a water coaster. They're building one at King's Dominion, are they not? Or King's Island? Who's getting the water coaster?
King's Dominion's getting some kind of water thing.
Whatever it is going to be attached to...
Did they say record breaking?
Yeah.
In the thing?
But with a park like Wonderland, you got to be
Okay,
is it Canada record breaking
That's
or is
true.
it world record breaking?
Do you think
What's that new water slide we just got? What's it called? Flying
got a new
canoes?
We
No.
got a new water slide. Oh, Moosehorn Falls.
Moosehorn Falls. It's going to be attached to the same tower, I think.
Is it?
Yeah. Okay, so my source at a water slide company pointed out in the design, if you look at the tower, there's a spot for a slide to come out, and it's designed that way.
So do you think the water slide we get is going to be a Canadian company that does it?
Whitewater. It would have to be Whitewater to use their same...
That's the better one, right?
Yeah. Pro Slides is better.
Slides. Which one's based in Ottawa?
Both. No, Pro Slides is Ottawa, and Whitewater's
Is it
out
Edmonton?
or Alberta or something like that.
Yeah, Moosehorn Falls operated for 3 weeks. That was nice.
I know. I want Pro Slides.
Moosehorn opening late will not be funny. It's kind of funny. Oh, what did I think of Hagrid's motorbike? It was really good. At my first ride, I got walked off of it.
I was actually so upset about that.
Me too. I waited 90 minutes. 90 minutes. I saw VelociCoaster was a 15-minute wait. I'm like, oh my god, this is great. I rode it 3 times. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go. Everything else is gonna be 15 minutes. Walk into Harry Potter World. I'm like, well, I found all the people. I got a butterbeer, and then I'm like, okay, 10 minutes. I'll be on Hag. 90 minutes.
It has a single rider line.
That was also 90 minutes.
It was?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, I want to wait in the queue because I want to experience the queue. And the egg room was kind of cool. But yeah, my first ride, we broke down at the drop track, and that happened to be the furthest away from the station you could possibly be. And we were the last ones to get evac. There were 5 other trains on the course, and they made an announcement specifically to us what's that Devil's Snare? We were in the Devil's Snare room, and they said, to riders who are in the Devil's Snare, you will be evacuated last. They specifically said that. I got it on.
Ooh!
Because it's a Universal Park. It has nothing to do with Cedar Fair or Six Flags.
You can do whatever you want over there.
I want over there.
What was I gonna say?
Do you just love Intamin?
I love Intamin.
Well, the complexity though of those rides, like Toro Ryan did a video on Hagrid's, and that like I'm
rides
surprised.
are gonna go down like all the time. Like a piece of dust can hit a sensor, and it's gonna trigger the ride to stop.
But you know what? With like some people will say, oh well, it's bad design, but it's rides like that. Then the companies learn from, right? So the next iteration of that model of ride, they improve on. Like VelociCoaster is like one of the most reliable rides I've ever seen. And that's Intamin.
I'm 35 minutes away. I'm on my way. Wait, why? What's going on?
Jake's on his way.
Is he bringing me food?
Wait, Jake, are you actually coming? Yeah, could you stop at like a...
Ooh, get us pizza or something.
Yeah, actually, because I'm pretty hungry. I ate Chipotle, but I'm still hungry.
I'm withering away to nothing.
He is. He's going to be able to fit on rides now. Brendan, when are we going to the gym, Brendan?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, you abandoned me.
I was in crisis. I needed... Everyone's like...
And now I'm in crisis.
Everyone's like, Surya, do things for yourself. Think for yourself. Treat yourself. And then...
It is true. As someone who went to therapy and got to explore a lot of that coming out of something... the most important thing for you to do is to do things that benefit you, because as a people pleaser, you often take care of everyone else but yourself. And I definitely see that with you a lot.
I have to be honest that, and it's so funny because Alyssa asked how Universal was great, and Brendan's always like, sir, you go to all these parks, blah, blah, blah. Like, just go to Universal. And I'm like, oh, Brendan, you don't know what you're talking. You don't ride anything. Fury's the best. It can't get better than that. Which, I don't get me wrong, I'm still going to go to Carowinds, like, as much as I can. But you were... Holy... Universal was incredible, and it was such a last-minute thing. And at that time, I felt like it was the best option for me. And I went and I did it. And I have to be honest, while I was driving down there, I'm like, am I just running away from my problems? I was second-guessing myself. But I was like, no, you know what? This is what I want. I've always wanted to, like, do something like that. And I really wanted to ride with VelociCoaster. I did it, and it was a great reset and a great experience. And I loved it so much, I spent $600 on a season pass.
That sounds like a lot, but that's a great deal.
And it's cool because apparently the only way at the moment to get into Epic Universe is to be a pass holder or something to do with a season pass.
Yeah, so if you only want a one-day ticket to Epic Universe, your only way to do that is to have a season pass.
Season pass.
Otherwise, you got to buy a 4-day, something like you got to buy like
They're expensive.
Yeah. So you just saved yourself, because we are going to go to Epic Universe. Like, you made me so jealous on this trip, but in like a healthy way. Like, you know, I was so excited he was there. Oh my God. This is going to be like the Whitewater Canyon moment. My most excited moment was him walking through the Epic Universe store. I was fangirling.
He was like in the live. Oh my God. It was so cool though. I just saw it there. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to walk in. It was like the merch looked really good. The Dark Universe stuff, the How to Train Your Dragon stuff, and that diorama they had, I was like fixated with.
They have this new animatronic that they're gonna have.
I saw like the toothless one.
What the hell?
And they were interacting with it.
I thought it was a person. It's an animatronic. It's that robot dog. You see those robot war machines? It's that.
Okay, I actually want to ask you something because I saw it, but it had a line. The Transformers, are those animatronics?
Those are people.
Okay.
But it's insane. There's a video of him falling over. I'm like, so that's what it looks like if Caden falls.
Long neck.
But
Islands of Adventure. That's, you know what? That's what I learned this trip. If you have the time and, you know, obviously like what the resources and don't overthink it. Just do it. Like just do it and live, and you'll discover something new and amazing. 100%. What do I do if I miss something? Oh.
The icy stand? Oh, you know, okay, can I say something so controversial? bulldoze every building in Alpenfest. I'm upset that they're keeping that old clock tower, the old Thunder Run Balor Ensign's entrance. It's going to look so awkward next to a giant big chalet and so outdated. Like, remove it. Why wasn't it removed? I know. Especially Coaster Bay is going to be so upset right now. But bulldoze. Everything newer is better. Everything newer. Name an old ride that's... Okay, Beast. Outside of the Beast, name an older ride that is better than any of these newer age generation rides.
The Beast is
There's probably many, actually, but...
Well, no, let's think about it. Okay, what do you define as an old ride? What's the year a ride has to be old?
Like, anything
Like
before
80s?
2000.
Anything before 2000?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's like the Montu. Alpengeist. Kumba.
Oh, I love Alpengeist.
This list is pretty extensive.
Everyone's...
Okay, no. This is great. No, okay. Oh, you guys are going to hate me after saying this. Oh, should I say it? I'm going to say it, Brendan. I'm going to get canceled. Vortex is overrated.
Which one?
At Wonderland. Vortex is not a good ride.
What? What? Have you rid Vortex in fall?
Yes.
When that thing
And at
comes into
night,
the thing and you hit the... like.
It's good, but why is it praised so much at Wonderland? If you put Vortex at Kings Island or Cedar Point or okay, maybe Great Adventure would be a good ride because they got rid of half their stuff. But you put Vortex at like any other park, you probably wouldn't even think twice about it.
Guys, next week, this is Skyrider Wheel and this is going to be Serious Head.
Oh my god. It's just as overrated as Iron Quasi.
That's what?
Iron Quasi.
What?
Terrible ride.
What is...
Are you okay, Saria? Someone says I'm so right. Thank you.
Didn't you rope drop Timberwolf Falls this year or something like that? Or was that last year?
Last year I did Last Ride of the Night on Timberwolf Falls.
Oh, yeah.
I got wet. Okay. I think, Vortex, you know, it's a classic aero suspended. It's the tallest and fastest aero suspended in the world. I think it's outdated, and I don't think they should get rid of it because that would be a big blow to Wonderland's lineup. But that kind of shows you the quality of lineup we have. Now, obviously, there's nothing that Wonderland could do about it because I think Paramount, you know, played a really big part in what we got in the 90s. And now with Alpen Fury, and I think if we get 2 more rides, it'll be really good. But, okay, imagine we get, in the next 12 years, 3 more, you know, major coasters, or even a family coaster, right? Will Vortex still be good in that case?
Yeah, because of what it is. Like, okay, so, for example, if you took Vortex and put it at any other park with the current surrounding area that it has, I kind of agree with you. But Vortex with those islands and the trees and the water valley and all that, it's epic.
It's epic?
It's epic. It's the best ride in the park.
Oh my god.
Next to Whitewater Canyon, of course.
Yeah, well, that's what you read the most. Yes. Okay, wait a minute. Okay. Put Vortex at Cedar Point. Is it a top 5 ride at Cedar Point?
That's a little unfair. That's like comparing Santa's Village to Wonderland.
There's gonna be someone. No, look at that smile. No, exactly. And if you say yes, you're gaslighting me. No, it is better than Iron Dragon, yes. But I think like. Yeah, it's a great ride. It's a great ride, and I really hope they don't do anything for it, and I'm sure it will be around for years to come. But when we start getting better attractions, I think rides that people thought were really good, they'll start realizing, like, hey, these rides actually aren't that good.
It's true. That is a true statement.
Vortex is better than Backlot. Yeah.
Oh, look, I just got sent a photo of them building a new Pro Slides water slide.
Yes, it is better than Backlot. Cycles wise, I don't know about that, but what? Who said that? Hello? And I think, okay, not just Vortex, but a lot of rides at Wonderland, right? Like you know, especially like Flight Deck or Wild Beast or the Bat. Like the Bat now it has one train, but that thing in the summer consistently has an hour-long wait.
Because it's stuck in the valley.
It's broken. But like,
there's a TikTok video of you know what?
well, now you have to say
There's
it.
a video out there on TikTok. If any of you weren't at the park this day, the park did a phenomenal job of covering it up. Just there's a video on TikTok that a lot of people haven't seen that didn't go viral. It's stuck at like 100 views, but it's the craziest thing I've ever seen happen to a ride. It happened this last season. Just saying. Just go check it out. Were you? Did you hear about the loud noises? Yeah. Just go check that video out.
I'm told not to say anything. Everything's fine. But rides like that, when we start getting more better attractions, people will start realizing like, hey, Wild Beast is terrible. Hey, you know, Shockwave is terrible. The Bat's terrible. Flight Deck is terrible. Like, these rides are all terrible.
I'm just making sure you're not saying certain other rides like Whitewater Canyon.
I'm surprised that hasn't been removed.
Oh, man.
But I think, I think it's time that maybe we start pulling a Great Adventure and getting rid of some of these rides.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the line for Flight Deck never made sense. Well, I'm sure when Flight Deck opened, it was like probably really popular.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Did you see how big that line was built?
Really.
And it used to be always full, apparently.
Like 2.5 hours.
But the animatronics used to always work, too.
There was animatronics?
They actually did. They had, like, figurines and those, you know the queue lines that go up and down? And those, there used to be glass cases. They used to be, like, not like good animatronics, but, like, am I overhyping? Were they animatronics or were they just stationary characters? There was definitely moving things because even the satellites spun and all that.
Wait. Top Gun even had video recording?
Yes! Yes!
So you could record yourself getting a headache?
Yeah.
Vortex used to as well, right?
Oh, guys, you know what I really miss at Wonderland? What was the toboggan ride? My dad used to hate me. In Alpen Fest. What was it called?
Great Whale of China? Or whatever.
I used to love that
Great
one
Whale.
too. My dad used to hate me because I used to ride
Here, Baron's Curve.
Baron's Curve and Great Whale of China. I used to just sit on those all day. And the Flintstones antique cars.
That was in the kids' park. Right?
Yeah.
Hanna-Barbera.
I was obsessed with those rides. Don't ask me why. I was addicted to them. And yeah.
Okay, I have a question for you guys. Is Vortex a top 3 at Wonderland?
No. Okay, we're not just gonna diss Yukon Striker that hard.
No, wait. No. I want to. Genuinely, guys, would you put Vortex in the top 3? Yes. Someone said yes.
So just try to get through the window.
Yes, it's over Yukon. People are saying it's better than you.
Hold on! Give me a second. We're about to ban a couple users. No, I'm kidding.
Top 5, yes, but our top 5.
Mary, I'm with you here.
My phone keeps falling. After number 3, our top 5 is not.
Yukon Striker is 100% the third best ride in the park. Like, it is, no matter what.
yeah.
Like, come on, guys. Mindbuster this year, it could, and then when they're done. Okay,
Night rides
do
on
you think they're going to get
Mindbuster.
new trains after the second year of renovations? They'll have to redo the brake run and station and
They'll
lift
have
hill.
to do it all magnets.
Yeah.
But if they're going to spend the money to renovate it that much,
Why
just
not?
go all the way
Right?
out?
Yeah.
Did they just redo the braking system? Well, that would be pennies for them.
Yeah. And they might have had to have.
I really hope they do.
I do too.
Like that would
You
actually
spend that
make
kind of money?
Mindbuster a good ride.
If they're doing the Helix, guys, you have no idea how much money that's going to cost them to just redo that Helix. Like,
Just
they have to go
get
in and,
there,
like...
yeah. I'm going to say yeah. I think they would.
I hope so.
Like Mystic Timber style trains.
What do you guys think?
Sledge over backlot. What is with the backlot hate? It's a great ride.
No, you want to talk about a ride that's overrated? Sledgehammer.
Yeah,
Sledgehammer
yeah, okay, I
is
agree
so
with that.
overrated. every time an American comes to our park, that's their favorite ride, flat ride at our park. And I'm like, girl, it literally hardly does anything. The only good thing about that ride is that first like half a second that it drops.
Just even going up and down, like going up is better than going down in my opinion. But you know, you said something so funny.
Everyone's trigger.
It's true though. It's true. Brendan, you said something so good. Every time an American comes to Wonderland, they're like, "Oh, you guys are so lucky. Look at all the flat rides you have. Wow, this is amazing."
I'm getting DMs, Brendan. We're about to fight.
The spiels make it good, yes.
Yes. They do. Yo.
Mary, I like what Mary says. Cyclone on top. Cyclone is in fact better than Sledgehammer.
No, Cyclone.
Cyclone is
the most boring flat ride. Not even just that
Tundra Twister.
I love Tundra Twister.
No. Yeah, how many times did you ride that this year?
Cyclone, literally. This is okay. Like Cyclone is like my ability to work out at the gym. It literally, it starts, it goes to the gym, and it gets to the peak. Like, it's literally like, yeah, we're finally here. I quit.
It's a great ride.
I quit.
You get airtime on Cyclone.
For half a second before the brakes kick in.
Good ride. It's a quality attraction.
I don't know who picked that ride cycle, but they most certainly were sick or something and hit stop on the ride cycle programming.
Shockwave is a good ride. Cyclone's a top 3 flat ride at Wonderland.
Shockwave is also overrated.
What can they put there though?
But you know what? Okay, this is what I tell people in Discord all the time too. When you have a home park and you go as much as we do, you when I worked for Starbucks, they used to train us about blinders. They always had this like definition called blinders. And it's literally the best thing I can talk about in terms of enthusiasts that go to Wonderland all the time, like myself, is when you're riding all these rides all the time and you're there every day, you develop the blinders to what an actual opinion should be of the attractions and the situations at your park.
Yeah.
You become more annoyed by things that really shouldn't be triggering you. You become less annoyed by things that should be triggering you. And you become bored of rides that are actually still good rides, like Yukon Striker, for example. I actually think that's part of the problem. We're so bored of B&Ms that they could build a good B&M at Wonderland and we'll still hate it.
Well, they have a good B&M at Wonderland.
Well, you know, when they do build a good B&M at Wonderland will be a remarkable day because they don't build good rides anymore.
Well, I'll agree with that.
Brendan hates the park at this point. Trust me, I don't. Anyone who knows me, I love Wonderland. I will defend Wonderland tooth and nail when it comes down to it. Like, if anyone else but me is attacking Wonderland, I'll be like, what do you mean?
Guys, are you ready to watch this? Brendan, what's better, Wonderland or Cedar Point?
Wonderland. It is. You would trade their concrete jungle for our...
Absolutely.
I hate Cedar Point so
much.
I know. I get sick every time I go there. Not from the rides, from the goddamn concrete and the 4-hour walk.
It's too much walking. Cedar Point is the best. No, Universal's the best.
Okay, what is your favorite? Okay, like tooth and nail. Take year-round parks out of it. No year-round parks. Your actual favorite... I fucking already know your answer and I hate it. Your favorite park to go to.
You think it's going to be Carowinds, but it's Holiday World. My favorite park is Holiday World.
Why? I'm curious.
Okay, well, the first time I went there, I had a really, really good experience. I think they have the best wooden coasters in the world. Raven, the Legend, and the Voyage. Like, especially the Voyage. Like, you can't... Like, at night, you can't beat that. Thunderbird's a great ride. Really solid water park. The park is never busy. It's a family-owned park. They have free parking. They offered free Wi-Fi back in 2014. They have free sunscreen, free soft drinks, free unlimited soft drinks, and the price of admission is only $50 for a day ticket. And they give all of that. And then you have these bigger parks who are charging $35 for parking. And Holiday World can still afford the $20 million, expansions every 4 years.
Well, of course. If any of these big parks were run by
I
themselves,
think
the amount of investments that Wonderland would be able to make.
yeah.
Oh my God, if it was family owned, they would either be living in the biggest house in Canada or we'd be getting $50-60 million coasters.
You see, all of our money actually goes to Top Thrill 2.
Yeah, well, is that working?
Oh, it better be working.
Hey, Tony Clark's he seems very confident it's going to be working.
Well, okay, let me ask you the same question then. Outside of the outside of Universal, what's your favorite park?
I have two.
Carowinds.
You're not going to expect one of them. You're not going to expect
I swear
one
to
of
God,
them.
if you say Wonderland, I'm going to vomit all over this place.
I'm taking Wonderland out of the equation too.
Good.
Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. That was one of my favorite trips I've ever had. I feel like I spent the whole trip laughing, and it's beautiful, and the rides are good, and
Food was good.
the food was good. You know, outside of being hate crimed on helping guys.
We shouldn't be laughing at that, but
But
he was hate crime for filming.
For filming.
It's just a coincidence.
For owning a GoPro. For owning a GoPro. Great adventure.
Yes! Period!
And I was just thinking about it. I think that was one of the most fun trips I've ever had. The people obviously contributed, but just like the reaction of El Toro.
Yeah.
Like that El Toro and almost dying on it.
King to Ka, front row.
King to Ka, yeah. It was a great park. Aside from the giant garbage bin in the parking lot at the end of the night and a guest taking a poop in a bush.
Yeah,
and
that's a true story. That's a very true story.
It was a good park. I had a good trip. It was good company. And yeah, that trip sticks in my head. Universal's obviously the best park in the world. Canada's Wonderland's obviously the better park in the world.
Yeah. Okay. That's your favorite park.
Wonderland.
Kings Island.
You want to know why? Okay, yes, it is Kings Island for all well rented, and this is not me sucking up to anyone because it's not even about Grace. I love Grace, and Grace is a part of the reason why I love Wonderland so much too. But the people that run Wonderland are so, like, think about it. Our trips to other parks in America, it was chaotic. Heather Hill deserves the most the most respect ever, because if Wonderland was to ever choose, let's say Wonderland out of nowhere just decided right now to open up in March. Okay, they're like, we're gonna open up middle of March. Heather, can you get that park ready for middle of March? I guarantee you, Heather would have that park ready to open middle of March, unexpectedly announced right now.
Probably, yeah.
Ride safety, training safety, everything. And I call Wonderland the park run by females. It's a very a woman boss environment, and it's, in my opinion, one of the best run parks I've seen out there. They make a lot of the right decisions. Do they make some bad decisions? Yes, but does every place make bad decisions? Yeah. We could be King's Dominion opening up in April, but none of the rides are ready to open.
King's Dominion's a fantastic park. Fantastic.
And even when Cedar Fair implements weather policies where they're supposed to close if it rains,
Wonderland's
there open. They're running 3 trains, 2 trains. If a ride literally valleys, a ride could literally valley and the ride will be open 3 hours later.
Yep.
And it takes a team of well-trained, great leaders for that to happen. And Wonderland, mark my word, Wonderland is extremely underrated when it comes to their talent.
I will say what Wonderland is actually really underrated for, and Busch Gardens Tampa opened my eyes to this, is operations.
You believe that? I think they do a great job.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying Wonderland does a great job.
I thought you were saying they do a bad job compared to other parks.
No, I said Busch Gardens Tampa opened my eyes to that. Wonderland does a great job of operations.
Yes, because what a lot of people don't realize is when we do have longer waits than some other parks, we have fucking bins. Yeah. Sorry, pardon my French. I just said the F word. We have bins, and our guests are stupid. They're dumb. They'll go to the bin. Have you ever seen the one guest? The ride will be ready to leave the platform, and the guest is sitting there on the platform.
Yeah, they're standing there on their phone, and they're like, "Can you please exit the platform? Huh? Can you please? Huh?
Or the mom, like, she'll be wanting to take a photo of her kid, like, in the
God.
seat. Like we have the dumbest clientele at Wonderland. We really do.
It's so frustrating. But you know what? Wonderland tries. The workers try. We try. And is it always going to be perfect dispatches? No. Or sometimes on, especially like the B&Ms, like, are you going to be sitting on the brakes sometimes? Yes. But guys, on Iron Gwazi, with my own eyes, I witnessed 197-second dispatch times. That's 3.5 minutes to send a train. Like, so you know what? Wonderland tries, and Wonderland accommodates all guests. So I give them props for that.
Yeah.
Now I will say though, the best operations I've ever seen in my entire life were on VelociCoaster.
Yeah, and Cedar Point obviously has good operations, but that park is run by enthusiasts. So they are at an advantage there.
And, well, they have the lockers. They have the metal detectors and stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Something someone said, like, maybe 20 minutes ago, if Alpen Fury were to do lockers, do you think they would be free? Okay, moving on.
You just asked someone in business if they would think lockers would be free.
Like, Universal is free.
So, this is where it becomes difficult.
Steel Vengeance is technically free.
What makes me think no is them already having a season pass add-on. Why would you charge your season pass holders to get lockers if they're not going to be free? What they should do is, yes, they should be free for an hour to 2 hours at each ride.
Like, just for the ride duration.
And even
Cedar Point and King's
Or
Dominion.
no, Cedar Point forces you to pay $5 for the whole day.
No, what? Steel Vengeance.
Oh.
Because the only thing you can't bring loose articles on is Steel Vengeance and Top Thrill. Top Thrill too.
I think that they should, at minimum, they should have a loose articles free locker system at the rides. Then,
yeah,
where they it's there.
Oh, but you know what? That wouldn't work at Wonderland because everyone has a backpack.
Yeah. Well, it sucks to be. Maybe they'll train their guests to not have a backpack.
Yeah, that's it. You know what I like? I like the haunt policy. Like, fanny packs, okay, but you shouldn't. And maybe this is just my opinion. You don't need to bring a full duffel bag into the park with 3 changes of clothes and all this stuff. That's ridiculous.
Yes, I do, because I'm gonna ride Whitewater Canyon 8 times.
I have a headache. You make me hungry.
I'm so hungry. I'm not gonna lie. I'm
starving. Jake, where are you?
I wouldn't be surprised if he's actually on his way.
Great, if he's not here with food.
Jake, Uber eats us some food.
Yeah. Oh, you know what's good is the big arch from McDonald's. I'll take one of those.
Ew, they still have that?
What do you mean, ew?
I can't eat it successfully. Well, the one time I got it, it fumbled all over the place. How do you eat the big arch successfully?
Just open your mouth like a snake and you just inhale it.
Doesn't...
Well, yeah, but you pick it up and you eat it.
Ew.
What ew?
I like my, you
want to see ew? Show us your toenails.
I low-key have been have they been seeing me, I
want McDonald's now. I do too.
Brendan's pretend Paramount is in the chat. Say what you want to say to them.
Oh, that's
go bankrupt.
You ruined our park.
You ruined a beautiful park. I'm eating well. I might actually go get food after this. I'm quite famished, and I have the next 3 days off. Love salary.
And there's a nice big snowstorm coming.
Oh, I gotta go somewhere first thing tomorrow morning.
Oh, cotton like 20K.
When are they going to work on upgrading food? Well, again, I can't show you guys what's going on in the park, but oh, that's awesome, Jeff. I love the Matrice 4. What was I gonna say?
Upgrading food.
They are upgrading the food. King's Feast is now receiving a major upgrade. Brendan, what's that iPad on the shelf?
Yeah, why don't you show us this? Walk us through what it... Oh, my God.
It's the controller for the Matrice 4.
Why don't you take it out of the box and show people?
I'll take it out of the box. It's massive.
I want to see it. I've never seen it. Oh my god, it actually is like an iPad. You can probably like
It
watch
is.
movies and stuff on this. This is actually pretty cool.
Does it have anything saved to it? Oh, it does.
Don't.
It's got Patreon content on there. Okay, you know what? Since you guys have stuck out for
3 hours,
almost 3 hours, you guys get a little sneak peek to the construction update tomorrow. Let me find an image for you.
Who just said low taper fade? What is this?
Wait, why isn't it? I don't have any of the recent ones. Hello? It only has the 7th.
That was a week ago. I can do math.
Oh, I lied to you guys. I don't have the new stuff on here. It's because it's on the computer. It's in that stick right there.
Oh.
Downloaded, ready to upload. I'm trying to see if there's anything I can show you guys. No, I can't show you Spin Invader. I'm sorry, I wish I could, but the strict park rules. But yeah. It's literally a computer. It has it's an Android operating system, so that's taking me some time to get used to.
So you know it's good.
The coolest feature, again, that's helped me out a lot is it'll tell me where humans are, even if they're not visible. One of the main features of this drone is actually to help farmers find lost animals. So it has an AI system built into it. They can find a groundhog in a farming field. So it's really good at being like, hey, Brendan, there's a person standing behind that tree. You can't see it, but we know it's there.
Brendan will find me roaming the parking lot staring at Leviathan.
So that's been really helpful. And then the other thing is I can fly her at night and still see things. I can fly her when it is very hazy out, and she'll edit the haze out of the sky. And obviously her zoom, which I am still learning how to use properly, by the way. I've only used L1. I have not used L2 and L3 yet because they confused me one time when I was flying and I got really scared. So I am still learning. With the Matrice, it's a whole training program that you essentially have to go through on their website. And yeah. The coolest feature, though, and you'll get to see this with another theme park, is she, I'm going to fly her sometime soon, and you're going to see her full abilities, is she's used for engineering. So, for example, let's say I flew over a ride. I could get a complete 3D model of that ride. Complete accuracy, mapped every detail of the ride, and in DJI's really expensive software, I get 1 year free right now, it'll build that ride in the 3D world. It'll show you everything, and it'll be like a 3D scale of it. So that's really cool. I'm hoping I'll be able to show you guys that sometime soon. That's obviously going to take a lot of time to learn. But yeah. So for example, the reason I bought it is because my hopes is with contacts at construction companies and stuff now because of the channel to reach out and be like, hey, do you want me to like come film this project? Do you need help measuring? Because she can measure accurate distances and acreage of sites and stuff. So yeah, that's really cool. I can point a laser when Alpen Fury tests, and I'll be able to get a reading on how fast Alpen Fury is going.
You better be doing that with Leviathan.
So she has a lot of laser technology that I haven't learned yet either. So that'll be cool. One of the cooler features for you guys is she'll actually track Alpen Fury's trains. And it'll be the stillest shots you've ever seen of Alpen Fury going through the course without me having to custom follow her. The AI will know where the train is going to go, where it's going, and what it's doing, and be able to, without moving the drone, using the camera only.
Alpen Fury night testing.
Where?
No, if they say...
Oh, if it tests at night, she'll be able to see it, yeah.
That'd be really cool.
And she also has a spotlight I can buy, but I feel like that would praise the park.
Probably get someone with a
Can you
paintball
imagine?
gun.
They're testing the ride and they just.
You know what you should do one day, like on Instagram or TikTok? Or... That sounded like it costed money.
Oh, thank you. I feel like a princess.
Well, don't get used to it. You should do like footage from the very first drone you had and do like progression. I think that would be cool.
Of which one?
Of the very first drone footage that you ever like filmed. And then do progression, like your first drone, your second drone, your third drone, and then like this. Because what is this the fourth drone now you have?
Spark, DJI Mavic 2, DJI Mavic 3, DJI Mavic 5th.
So you should do progression shots and videos, and like I think that'd be cool to see the evolution.
Yeah. This is probably gonna be the last drone I ever own. If I need a new drone, there's no purpose for me to have another drone after this.
This is for Ukraine.
This can do anything. Oh. Wow, we've been live for 3 hours, and 100. There has been always over 100 people of you in here. That's crazy.
You know what? I would just want to say, and maybe some of you can relate. It's Valentine's Day today, so happy Valentine's Day to you. Happy Valentine's Day to you. If this is like the singles club, then yeah.
Period. I bet you there's some successful couples in here too to make us jealous.
You're mean.
Surya's my date.
It's true. This is.
Where are you taking me after this?
Yeah, I want food.
Knowing you is gonna be like McDonald's.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
You're
I was
cheap.
gonna go to Universal, but now.
Oh. Alrighty. I think this is a good time to wrap it up. Right as we're about to hit 3 hours.
I think that is a great story to find.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry.
I'm
too.
really hungry.
I did find a Valentine. Her name is Veloci. Last name Coaster.
Thought you were actually about to say the name.
VelociCoaster.
Patreon, you will have an update tomorrow morning.
This has been fun. Okay, let's now that we're here in front of you guys, so I can hold me accountable. Are we doing this every week?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
Maybe not 3 hours, but
But
there was a lot to talk about today because a
it was
lot.
like the first,
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll have other people back. Don't worry. Like, you might see Jake again, fetching us some water. No, I'm kidding.
This has been fun.
Period.
This has been fun. Oh my god.
Oh my
Jake.
God, what's going on?
Jake
Oh,
is spamming.
I thought we were getting. Russia's attacking.
Please 5 hours next time. Oh my god.
That's crazy that you guys stuck around this long. I appreciate that a lot.
Keep Surya. Keep Surya.
Keith, you are now mine.
I'm
you
over.
are my new employee.
Yeah.
You have been promoted to my.
When's my vacation time?
No, obviously, yeah. The podcast was missing Syria. Full honesty, like it was never the same without him. It started with you. Yeah, it started with you, and it was just never the same. We all saw that. You all saw that watching. It was never the same. We have that like that sibling connection. Yeah.
Just see what he's doing with his foot right now.
It's on camera. I am editing out the last 5 minutes of the podcast.
Okay, a funny story. We were at Brendan's cottage, and I don't know what we were like throwing socks in each other's faces, and he was like, he put his full Parmesan cheese foot in my face, and I had to go and brush my teeth. Ow!
That is karma. Look, the Matrice hurt you.
No.
She's my dragon.
There's enough karma.
I'm Lakisi, whatever her name is.
Oh, Game of Thrones. Yes. Parmesan.
Oh my God.
It's true.
You did not just say that on the podcast. I have dry feet.
And y'all make fun of me when I put foot cream on my grippers.
That's your pot. Your live streams are all something else. Go
gripper maintenance.
All right.
I think that's it.
I'm going to get food.
Me too. Sante goo.
All right, thanks for joining in, guys. Can you exit? If I stand up, they're going to get a Santa Claus view of my... Go to the
oh my God,
stream
Brendan,
button. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm scared of the camera.